What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost.
I'm Lethal Lightning.
And I'm Uche Waneri.
And we have a massive event coming to you guys just hours before the Snyder Cut releases on HBO Max. We will be on Uche's channel with Zack Snyder himself celebrating the fandom and the Release the Snyder Cut movement.
And all the money generated on this stream will go directly to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, a really good cause that unfortunately plagues a lot of people, including Zack Snyder himself.
Now, with this charity stream, we'll also be auctioning off a number of exclusive items provided by Zack Snyder and ourselves that you can only find by being a part of the auction in the stream.
So join us on Uche's channel starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. It is going to be awesome. Talking Snyder Cut, raising a bunch of money for a great cause, and talking to Zack Snyder himself. We'll see you there.
He's never fun.
Nerdrotic.com.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all, you beautiful people out there. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from Nerdrotic.com. And yes, today is the day of the auction, the charity stream on Uche's channel. You saw the little commercial there made by our pal Ryan Cannell, little baby boy. I'm so proud of him. And that's tonight, 5 p.m. Pacific time. I will be there for the first hour. I'll be in the chat, maybe joining the stream pre-Zack Snyder. And I think it's a great moment for Zack, obviously, and for Autumn, hashtag for Autumn. And losing a child is a parent's worst nightmare, And the fact that Zack can still smile again and go about his life is a testament to how strong of a dude Zack Snyder is and how solid of a guy he is. So he has my eternal respect. Plus, I love him as a filmmaker. And so make sure to tune in. If you cannot donate, of course, just share it if you can, and that they would greatly appreciate that. So we've got a lot to talk about today. Let's see. We have Forbes calling out Disney. I had to kind of shake my head and see if I was dreaming, but that is a sign of things to come. We will also discuss a little bit of Hollywood regret, but is it really regret? We'll discuss that. Some Sarah Silverman disingenuous statements. Then, of course, there's some Lord of the Rings news we're going to discuss. We'll talk about the Snyder Cut. And we'll also discuss, because I haven't done it on the Nooner yet, that article that tried to conflate me and many others with radicalizing the middle-aged of America. It's so funny. It's funny. Yeah. And there's, I'll probably end up talking about WandaVision. And yes, I was called out today for my reviews being delayed. And I hear you. Message received. Sometime tonight or tomorrow morning, the WandaVision review will come out. And I'm glad I waited, because my mind has never changed this much on something I watched. But I definitively feel that it is 100% pure MCU. Of course, we have Falcon and Winter Soldier coming this Friday, and I couldn't care less. I'm going to watch it, to review it. I don't feel like in a big rush to see it, but I have to. And, of course, I will be reviewing the Snyder Cut. So my next two videos will be a WandaVision review and then a Snyder Cut review. And I am looking forward to that. I am very much looking forward to that. It'd be nice to see just some superheroes beating the shit out of something and not complaining about white men or whatever. So let's see who's here. Let's see who is here. Where is the chat? There is the chat. Oh, it's moving so fast. My goodness, look at you people. Welcome, everyone. Lord Thoth, Eric K, thank you for being here with your wrenches and just another red shirt. The Nerdrotics are here in strength. That is good. Austin Woods, welcome. Broken Wrench, Brightest Day, U.S. Dutch Kitty, who is a member. Thank you, U.S. Dutch Kitty. Lady, oh, I just went too fast on me. Damn it. I'm going to have to stop this one now. There we go. Opposition Transmissions, Metal Muggin, Bogey, Norwegian Kryptonian, Fire Knight, Push-Ups 2345, Ryan Welsh, Isabel Brokow, Dolified, Dr. Mike, Another Gen 42, Mark Santos, Christopher Sigerson. Did I get that right? I'm sorry. And Dr. Dave, Mr. 19, Rayron VR. Welcome. Honestly, you guys are the best part of the show. A Yellow Flash 42. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I will be most definitely. It's kind of at the end of the title, but that will be a large portion of the live stream. We will be talking about new Cap. Excuse me. I got a little bit of the sniffles. And why I quit reading comic books. And, well, it's essentially that. It's tokenism. It is the bigotry of low expectations, and it's why the comic industry is dead. It's dead. It's just, we're watching it. It's in hospice right now, and, it'll probably last a few more years, but it's done. You're the best, Dr. Dave. You're the best. Stop it. Stop it. And let's start with you toxic fans. You are a bunch of toxic fans. Did you know that? And did you know it is dangerous that the Snyder Cut exists? Because these large corporations, at least one of them, whether the narrative is they were forced to come out with this. They were forced to give Zack Snyder $70 million to make a film that he worked on for free while he's doing another movie. You force these corporations to bend the knee, and this sets a dangerous precedent for entertainment because that would put you in control. Well, newsflash, Access Media, the fans have always been in control. We decide what we want to like. We decide who we want to be. We decide what we are. You are just a little pilot fish that follows around your mother corporation and does their bidding. You have no autonomy whatsoever. You are suckling on the titty of access, and that titty is drying up. Zack Snyder went to up-and-coming channels. I don't call them small. I call them up-and-coming. Because that's where he knows where the true fandom lies. That's the new era. The torch has been passed. The Access Media is dead as they contract and shrink like a penis in a cold ocean. Couldn't think of a better analogy. There is no way in hell the Access Media can compete against you and I. I tweeted this yesterday. We are the media. We are the media. We are the meteor descending on the dinosaur media. And they see it coming. It's in slow motion, but they see it coming. So they're going to come at us as much as they can. And while they, again, have massive layoffs, and they have to live in apartments with 8 other roommates. Those roommates are comic book writers, by the way. All these Access Media writers are living with comic book writers. That's how I imagine my head with their 9 cats and their ramen. And listen, nothing against ramen. I like Top Ramen. They are bitter. They're bitter because every time they jump around to another site, about 1,000 of us crop up on YouTube or Odyssey and other places and create competition for them, and they hate competition. The media hates competition. So here's our first article from Daily Beast, which I do believe just purchased the Huffington Post. Well, that was a smart purchase, was it? I don't think so. Let's see if I got that article set up. I do! Oh, look at that. And I'm going to have to pull it over here so I can read it. Look at this headline, by the way. Hopefully it fit. Yeah, you can see most of it. Snyder's Justice League will delight DC's toxic fans. You think there might be some people who enjoy DC entertainment that read the Daily Beast? How do you think they feel about this? Is like, oh, what if you subscribe to the Daily Beast? How could you possibly be that dumb? But I won't judge. I won't judge. And you go, wow, I'm not toxic. I like Batman. I like Batman. I like Superman. I like Wonder Woman. The greatest single female superhero ever created by a pervert. No, she's still the best, though. She's absolutely the best. Love Wonder Woman. And we'll get into how Wonder Woman created the MCU, by the way. I'll go over my whole thesis on that a little bit later. But yeah, let's read this trash. Garbage by garbage tier Nick Shager. Shager. Maybe Nick needs to shager a little more, and he'll be a little happier. The 4-hour superhero extravaganza out on March 18th on HBO Max. Make sure not to pirate this, by the way. And if you do, I'm not going to judge you. If you do, just make sure to give HBO Max a click. I mean, it's really important that this is successful. But pirating is terrible. You should not do it. It's very, very bad. It is a vast improvement over its jumbled predecessor, offering classical gods and monsters, majesty and tragedy. See, they're having a hard time. I'm getting the gist that it's pretty good, that there are some similarities to Justice League. I will find out when I watch it with and review it, and my review will be out hopefully Friday morning. And I'll be upfront with you all right now. I am a very fallible human being, and I am prone to being subjective once in a while. And I'm going to probably take it really easy on this film because I am cursed with this thing called empathy. And I have great empathy for Zack Snyder and even for Ben Affleck, who's been dealing with his own addiction issues. And boy, I know what he's going through. I mean, not with that kind of bank account, but I know what he's going through. And I've always suggested, not that, because I know Ben Affleck's always watching the live stream. What's up, Ben? We're like this. That he get the hell out of Hollywood because if you are prone to addiction in that town, it's deadly. There is hundreds of actors that prove that. And he's got kids, and I think his kids would rather have him be around personally. And, he's probably got enough money to live off of. Hopefully he does what Robert Downey Jr. does and surrounds himself with an army of people that keep him sober. If I could afford it, I would do it too. Whatever it takes. So, and I also have empathy for Zack Snyder, obviously, for what he went through. And this working on this film was therapy for him. It was cathartic. So, yeah, I'm not going to shit on something like that. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not going to do it. No matter what it is. I mean, if I say, I think the worst thing I'll say is, but I'll still recommend that you watch it 5 times. And no matter how this turns out, I want to see more of this. I want to see an Ayer cut. I want to see more. I definitely want to see more because I think for the most part, the casting is pretty spot on, except for Ezra Miller, who absolutely sucks as the Flash. Sorry. But yeah, I want to see more. Zack Snyder's Justice League is a film about superhero gods. So it's fitting that its own production story is now the stuff of modern Hollywood legend. And that is the one thing that separates Marvel from DC. Marvel is supposedly the world out your window. Now it's the world inside of an apartment in Manhattan, but that's what it is. And DC was always more mythical, fantastic, more based in sci-fi and fantasy. It wasn't the world outside your window. I remember in JLA Avengers. Oh my God, I love JLA Avengers, by the way, where the DC Earth is slightly larger than the Marvel Earth. And they really get into some of the differences between Marvel and DC. My favorite part of JLA Avengers is the fight that never happened. It was Captain America versus Batman, and they were facing off, and they never even, I don't believe, swung at each other. They just matched move for move, and they finally decided, like, we should probably talk instead of fight. That was cool. The myth began back in May 2017. In the midst of post-production of Justice League, Snyder, the architect of Warner Brothers' DC Universe and the director of Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. By the way, if you can see the storyboards of what was to come, I highly recommend you go take a look. They were done by Jim Lee, not my favorite artist, but they were really well done, and they were epic. Stepped away to deal with the death of his stepdaughter, and Avengers Helmer Joss Whedon was hired to complete the would-be blockbuster. The Frankensteinian final production grossed an underwhelming $658 million worldwide. Let me tell you something. They're going to be thankful to make $658 million worldwide now. They are. And a social media campaign for the original Snyder Cut began. Well, you want to know why it began? This is my understanding of it. Now, there are people like Ryan and Lethal and Uche who have been there from the beginning, who were there spamming the hell out of Warner Brothers. But my understanding at the time, what I heard was Warner Brothers wasn't happy anyway. They wanted to get rid of Zach. And whether that's true or not, I don't know. And there was also a pretty believable media campaign to kill this movie before it even came out. And when it did, it was just all the access media suckling on the teat of Disney. And I think there was some Marvel versus DC stuff going on there. And I think it was the access media latching themselves on to the prom queen, basically. I could be wrong. It was a few years ago. And I was covering this stuff. And if I do remember correctly, when I reviewed Batman versus Superman and Justice League and all those, I kind of was meh about them. I didn't think they were the greatest thing ever made, but I like the Batman stuff. So the campaign for the original Snyder Cut began, eventually gaining enough steam to make Snyder cop to its existence, sensing an opportunity to mend fences with the filmmaker. That's interesting because even when he copped to his existence, the access media was saying it didn't exist. Now, I'm not going to sit here and, they got a word salad and they're going to sit here and talk about the Snyder is a restored superhero endeavor premiering March 18th is, in a larger scheme of things, a heartening tale of resurrection for a project undone by controversy and circumstance, or a worrisome saga about the power wielded by a small and sometimes toxic fan base, which managed to compel a conglomerate to bow to its demands. The only conglomerate that I've seen bowing to any demands was Disney bowing to a very small and very toxic group of people on Twitter when they fired Gina Carano. So you think this is dangerous, but firing Gina Carano over nothing isn't. Okay. However, there's no denying that on its artistic merits, Zack Snyder's Justice League is a prototypical Snyder movie in every respect. A wantonly dour and doom-filled affair. It's extensive, indulgent, and self-serious, striving for grandeur throughout the course of its gargantuan 242-minute, it's too long, CGI sound and fury, yes, and operatic melodrama. Yet it's those precise elements that also serve it well, infusing, what the fuck? So you don't like it or you like it. What they're trying to do is separate themselves from Marvel, which is turned into quippy little fight scenes and the MCU. Yet it is those precise elements that also serve it well. Infusing, man, this is some mental gymnastics. Infusing it with scale and a sense of import that make it everything the Snyder faithful hoped it would be, and a vast improvement over the 2017 theatrical release. I have a second chance. Lo, I am not going to waste it. Superman Henry Cavill tells Lois Lane, Amy Adams, and Snyder approaches his film likewise, holding nothing back and bringing his outsized do-over back from the dead. I'm not going to get into spoilers. Here, let's make it easy. We'll just search the word toxic. They only use it twice. That's good. That's good. I'm going to scroll through and just see what they talk about the fans. The only thing. Okay. So basically what they're saying is Warner Brothers capitulated. Well, they're not the only ones who said this. Let me go to my other article here, which calls it outright dangerous. That's right. It's dangerous. My God, I have like 1,000 bookmarks. There we go. Boom. The Snyder Cut is a better version of Justice League, but it sets a dangerous precedent. So this is what you're going to see over and over again, and it comes from Time. This one comes from Time. The other one comes from the Daily Beast, and this is your dinosaur legacy media owned by conglomerates. And what they're afraid of is you, like I said before. This is their baseline fear. They are afraid that they will have to go to trade school, which I highly recommend. I highly recommend at this point, because you're not going to make a living wage, to use your language, on articles like this because you guys did it to yourselves. You can't compete with a Ryan Cannell, a Jeremy, an Az, a Sporking News podcast who can fire up his mic and his cam whenever he or she wants, whenever they want, and give you their honest opinion about a movie that might not be backed by some lame film school degree, but it will be backed by being lifelong nerds and knowing a thing or two about this, by not being an agitator, an agent provocateur, an activist. The activism that has invaded our beloved intellectual properties have absolutely destroyed them. And we're getting near the end, folks. We are getting near the end. Now, as I stated 2 years ago, as I stated 2 days ago, as I will state probably 2 years from now, this is going to take a while. But quite frankly, they got a respite because of the coof. Now, now things are going to be opening up, and in particular in Southern California. Things, I believe, which were supposed to open up Monday, open up today. So we're going to slowly see things start opening up, and then the real numbers come in. I'm sure these corporations are going to be just fine. I'm sure they have made a deal with the government. I mean, they are getting bailed out to the tune of billions on our dime, by the way, while our small businesses don't get shit. And I'm sure they're going to be fine, but they still need to generate those billions in that box office. They were not ready for this. HBO Max got out to a very clumsy start because they weren't ready. They just flat out weren't ready. Disney Plus, I think, is a total ripoff, and we'll get into that in just a moment. And Amazon and Netflix are out there, but right now they haven't offered anything that even slightly interests me. Director Zack Snyder's Justice League, out March 18th, is way better than the original version released in theaters 2017. It had to be. The theatrical cut of DC superhero movie was a dissonant mishmash of two radically different directorial styles that left audiences confused, critics unimpressed, and the studios reportedly at a financial loss. During filming, Snyder left the project after the sudden and tragic death of his daughter, Autumn, and another director, Joss Whedon, of Avengers fame, took over. Whedon reshot much of the movie, and we all know this shit word salad. The new cut of Snyder Cut of fans' internet lasts for exhausting. Oh my God. In the new cut of Justice League, dubbed the Snyder Cut by the fans on the internet, lasts for exhausting hours. I was so exhausted watching this superhero stuff. But Snyder uses his doubled runtime wisely, whereas Whedon's version gestures at vague, tear-jerky backstories. Snyder gives each hero personal stakes, particularly Ray Fisher's Cyborg. His strained relationship with his father becomes the much-needed heart of the film. The villain, Steppenwolf 2, gets a motive, redeeming himself to his villainous family. Okay. Okay, here we go. This wasn't a quaint letter-writing campaign. While some fans innocently used the hashtag in hopes of getting a better movie, a toxic contingent spammed producers, critics, and fans of the rival Marvel Cinematic Universe with angry comments and threats. By capitulating to fans who employ dubious tactics to get what they want, Warner Brothers may have set a dangerous precedent. If this is the future of filmmaking, who's really in control? We've always been in control. We have always been in control. What do you rely on? Yahoo News? Those stupid fucking ads we see everywhere, and you need us buying the shit. What the fuck? You guys have been up your own ass for so long. You've been huffing your farts for so long. You actually think we wait for you. That we exist for you. Fuck off. We don't need you. We've never needed you. All you've done is introduce the term toxic fandom, introduce divisiveness into fandom through your agitating, through your activism, your faketivism. We've had a bunch of poli-sci, women's studies, bloggers invade media and invade fandom. How can you call yourself a fan if you hate everything? How could you call yourself a fan if you think it's for exhausting hours? Now, this is just a film critic. And listen, if I thought it was back in the 80s when film critics hated everything sci-fi, and man, I long for those days where I absolutely expected Siskel and Ebert to hate Kroll, to hate Legend, movies I loved. I don't know if they did or not, but I'm just throwing up an example. Big Trouble in Little China. This wasn't exactly something that was loved by the critics. Okay. But these are now considered classic movies showing critics don't know shit. But we have this person talking about toxic contingent. Maybe Warner Brothers focused on the positive ones. You just said there was positive ones. And the vast majority of the interaction was positive. Maybe they focused on that. How do you know? Did Warner Brothers come out and say, well, we really didn't want to do this, but you twisted our arm? No, the reason they did it is because HBO Max wasn't ready. The reason they did it was because Game of Thrones was a complete and utter failure, and they needed content. I don't think it would have happened otherwise. That's the reason they did it. The Snyder Cut existed. It definitely existed. I don't know if it would have seen the light of day if it wasn't for the streaming wars and the coof. We'll never know. But I don't think it was them bending the knee to the fans. Believe me, as much as the Snyder Cut has been talking about Justice League, the Fandom Menace has been talking about The Last Jedi and Star Wars just as long, with more people, and Disney will never bend the knee to the Fandom Menace. Trust me. And that's another group that's considered small and toxic, but it's not. I give you the charity stream that will happen later today. And to people who say that the only reason they're doing or we do charity streams is to justify our quote unquote bad behavior, for one, I don't apologize for jack shit. No remorse, no regrets. I don't need to do any charity streams. Jeremy doesn't need to do any charity streams. We do them. We do them because we genuinely want to help people. And we were fortunate enough through lots of hard work and thanks to you guys to have a platform to help out a little bit. Okay. Now, that bad behavior often gets misconstrued with criticism. I will call people out. I'll get frustrated, but I generally don't attack people. I don't get into raging arguments on Twitter. I will remind Disney often of things they have done, but I don't at any actors. I don't go after anybody other than Kurtzman's content, Jar Jar Abrams' content, Kathleen Kennedy's actions, her business decisions. God, look at that dark side. That looks fucking awesome. I just want a 1/6 scale Hot Toys dark side. That's all I want out of this. Can we make this happen? Those fans didn't operate in a vacuum. Snyder encouraged them by creating social media accounts dedicated to what his version would have looked like. Okay, are they going to mention the other charity streams? Are they going to mention the people who might not necessarily like my channel at all, that have talked to Zack Snyder and have raised money for suicide prevention? He used the hashtag himself and as did stars Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot. And by the way, I do have to mention, I believe Zack Snyder's motivation behind this was to give the fans what they want and equally use this to help raise awareness for suicide prevention. I guess that's toxic now. See, what matters more to the access media is these small contingents of people who call them out. They don't like being called out, and they also don't like competition. They also don't like that Zack Snyder went to other YouTube channels. Snyder has said he refuses to watch Whedon's version. I would too. And he has maintained that most of his fans, with whom rests the future of his filmmaking career, are not toxic. He's right. They aren't. That is a term that you use, and it's projection. Here's how it works. Access Media puts out article that says toxic fans. Fans react going, I'm not toxic. Or some go, fuck you, I'm not a toxic fan. And then Access Media goes, see? Snyder had once been the architect of the future of DC superhero films, and Artur anointed to pick up the mantle from Christopher Nolan following his stuff, and we all know this stuff. Snyder grabbed the football. They have struggled with critics. And they say they used it to recruit subscribers. Yeah, everybody's got motivation behind this. And yes, the ultimate motivation is to make money. That's what HBO Max invested $70 million because they need subs on their platform. And they did something that was the boldest of bold moves, which was we're going to release all of our stuff at the same time in the theaters and the streaming service at no extra charge to go after Disney Plus. And this is something that might start hurting Disney Plus once movies start actually coming out. And like it's starting. Now it's starting. On the 18th, you're going to start getting a run of Warner Brothers films. We are going to get the Snyder Cut. Then we're going to get King Kong versus Godzilla and so on and so forth. And eventually we're going to get the James Gunn, who's a total punk. We're going to get the Suicide Squad. And I'm looking forward to that movie. I'm not going to lie. I am looking forward to that movie. So, yeah, it's on at this point. And what's Disney going to offer? Falcon and Winter Soldier, 22 to 25 minutes of really light story for 8 to 9 episodes that will lead to nothing. Probably. I think Disney went into this going, you know what, we're going to use our TV series and make them basically a commercial for our movies. It can't be that way now. It's easy to see why Snyder style resonates with a certain contingent online. So basically, they just called you idiots. Called me an idiot too. Some of Snyder's fans pillared Marvel's movies, and Whedon in particular, claiming those films are for kids. In recent months, several actors, including Justice League's Ray Fisher, have accused Whedon of bullying set, adding fuel to the fire online fire. Well, listen, Joss Whedon's Avengers is a great film. It's a great film. It's one of the highest grossing films of all time. Joss Whedon is incredibly talented. Joss Whedon created Buffy and Angel, 2 shows that are my all-time favorites that I will always love. Joss Whedon isn't the same Joss Whedon he used to be. Joss Whedon is a creep. Joss Whedon is an a-hole on the set. He can be both things. Joss Whedon is not right for DC. He's right for Marvel. DC has to be a bigger spectacle. I've always said that I believe the character of Superman works much better in a film or on TV than he does in the actual comic books. Batman would work best in a TV series. But these are gods. Marvel superheroes are not gods. They're semi-powered superheroes. Now, that's changing, and that's going to be part of my next video, so I don't want to ruin that. And that's why a lot of that stuff isn't passing the smell test. But apparently they're amping up Cyborg's powers pretty big in this, and it's going to be interesting. And I love Cyborg as a character in the comics. Always have. Teen Titans is my favorite all-time DC book. Marv Wolfman and George Perez's Teen Titans is my favorite DC, period. Remember, that book outsold the X-Men when it was Byrne and Claremont and Cochran and Claremont. Marv Wolfman's Teen Titans was regularly outselling it. And it's part of the best crossover of all time, which was X-Men and the Teen Titans. Dark Side, Dark Phoenix. Find it. Great story. So, yeah, Whedon's a dick. We know that. The ugliest subset of these fans fetishize the good old days when heroes were primarily white, straight, and male. Fuck you. You have no idea what you're talking about. This is literally talking out your ass. Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Who's the poser dipshit? Eliana Doctorman. Eliana Doctorman You see that character right there, Eliana? That character is decades old. Decades old. I would also remind you that that character came out right around the same time, within a few years, of Storm, who was in the X-Men. Go look at Giant Size X-Men. Go look at the cover of Giant Size X-Men. The good old days. No, we like our heroes. I like Superman. I like Batman. I like Wonder Woman. The Super Friends was my gateway to superheroes was George Reeves' 50s Superman TV show, because I'm old, and the 1966 Batman, and then the Super Friends. I was reading Marvel Comics, but I was watching the Super Friends. And since I've seen the Super Friends, I've wanted a proper Justice League movie. And as I'm a lifelong Marvel guy, but the superhero team, the number one superhero team, is the Justice League. It's not the Avengers. It's the Justice League. God. Some seek to protect that nostalgic but exclusionary version of storytelling at all costs. We end right there. I'm sorry. Did comic books say whites only? Was there some kind of genetic lock on a comic book? That kept other people out? I think you can go and read one right now. Eliana, I would suggest you do before you write something this fucking stupid. Because you just make yourself look like a tard. And this is why they can't stand us, because I'll sit there and break this down, and while I'll throw a few F-bombs, I will also explain to you why you're so wrong. I have been going to comic conventions since I was a kid. I'm 51 years old. I have been going to San Diego Comic-Con since it practically started. I lost count how many cons I've been to. Lost count. San Diego Comic-Con is well over 30. I think it's 35. And overall Comic-Cons, hundreds. And I've been going to them again for years. They have never been an all-white affair. Au contraire. Au contraire. Trolls within other fandoms have often deployed the same toxic tactics as the Snyder Cut fans to drive women and people of color offline. Here comes talking about the fandom menace. When female gamers are, and then to borrow from Jeremy from the Quartering, when female gamers pushed for more women, no. Gamergate was a couple of women sleeping with a lot of Access Media members to gain favorable reviews. And more fully clad women in video games, disgruntled men clinging to the sexist games of their youth, doxed them. All right, let's go to this link. Oh, they linked to their own article with bad information. Okay. When an all-female Ghostbusters premiered in 2016, fans accused the creator of ruining their childhood and drove the movie's only black star, Leslie Jones, offline with racist and sexist vitriol. For one, I don't deny that exists. That's called the internet. I also remember the director being extremely obnoxious and the producers being extremely obnoxious with their emotional blackmail marketing, which Ghostbusters 2016 started. Remember those Ghostbusters you loved? You're a fucking sexist. We're going to replace it with 4 females, and if you don't like it, you're a fucking sexist. Fuck you. Now watch our movie. How do you think that sounds? Because that's essentially what it is, boiled down. No, what we liked was the original Ghostbusters. What we like is our classic characters that we've been reading for years that made these things worth making movies for. But the elite and the corporate come in and they, oh, no, young pleb, you little drooling pleb. We know better than you. We have been to university. I took women's studies. I've never dated a woman or been in a relationship, but I took women's studies. When Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi, here comes I'm sensing, my spider sense is tingling. Kelly Marie Tran is coming. When Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi killed off Luke Skywalker, Star Wars fans who had grown up with Luke's face on their lunchboxes fumed over the decision to backstage older white characters and usher in a younger, more diverse cast. They harassed one of those cast members, Kelly Marie Tran, until she too quit social media. Wrong. Absolutely right. We fumed that you killed off Luke Skywalker, and what you forget to mention all the time, because you're a disingenuous POS, is why they killed off Luke Skywalker. Now, I'm all for new characters, and I'm still waiting for them. We didn't get any new characters. We got black person, Asian person, white female person that's a doppelganger for Kathleen Kennedy, who spoke lines that meant nothing, whose characters meant nothing. They were vapid, they were hollow, and they remade A New Hope in The Force Awakens. There was nothing to root for. There was nothing to attach ourselves to. There's nothing to relate to because they were already awesome. They were just diverse. I can relate to all kinds of people who don't look like me because we're all human beings. It's called the human condition. Remember when they used to teach nuance in school and critical thinking? Parents, you're wasting your money. You're wasting your money. Your kid will be much better off going to a trade school or a school that just doesn't teach theory at all. You know, one of the best things I did is I went to a school. I went to and it's called a video intensive. And it's at San Francisco State, and they don't talk about theory. They all theory is thrown out the window. They just teach you how to edit, how to shoot a camera, how to cut a commercial, how to edit a TV show, and they did it in 4 months, 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. And by the time you're done with that 4 months, you know just as much as anyone who goes to 2 or 3 years of school, because most of it is blah, blah, blah in the classroom. They don't fucking do any of that. They handed us a computer. We were shooting the first day. And I got a job at Technicolor out of that. And it pissed off some people who went to school for 4 years. Too bad. Okay, so yeah, Kelly Marie Tran and DC superhero fans tried to fire bad reviews en masse to lower Rotten Tomatoes scores for Marvel movies Black Panther. That one's kind of true. I got to give them that one. It didn't affect it though, did it? I mean, last time I checked, Black Panther was hats off to Disney. Best marketing I've ever seen. And they made it a cultural moment. And it was. It was. Was it a good movie? Not necessarily. 7 out of 10. Black Panther's cucked in his own film. And he was much better in Civil War. Yeah. And then Captain Marvel. No, Captain Marvel was some bullshit. Captain Marvel was the MCU. Now, it's not what introduced the MCU. The Wasp and Ant-Man. And yes, it's the Wasp and Ant-Man introduced the MCU. Captain Marvel told you exactly what they're going to do after Endgame. And you know what? The first thing I've seen after Endgame was WandaVision. Yeah, it's here. Forcing Rotten Tomatoes to forbid ratings before movie debuts. Forcing Rotten Tomatoes to change their entire platform and ruin their website forever, by the way. It's not a coincidence that those were the first solo outings for a black and female superhero in the franchise. These fans have found success. Bomb threats kept prominent female gamers from speaking at events. I remember one. Jason Reitman is making another Ghostbusters sequel, saying he's handing the franchise back to the fans. Good for him. Thank you. And Jar Jar Abrams largely retconned the events of The Last Jedi in his follow-up. Yeah, whatever. Jar Jar is just as bad as Rian Johnson. Stop it. And they sidelined trans character in the story. Well, they did that because she wasn't an interesting character. Maybe if they played to Kelly Marie Tran's strengths, which she does have, she would have been a more popular character. But you frumped her up, you put her in a garbage bag or a potato sack. Greenlighting films based on fan campaigns may sound like a democratic way to make movies, but in reality, the power is not with the people, but with a small, loud contingent of fans willing to spew hatred. The Snyder Cut, new and improved as it may be, is the latest reward for their bad behavior. But it's also perhaps an inevitable conclusion of a saga set amid an industry, this is my favorite part, in which money talks louder than even trolls. You damn straight. Money. God, do they not? There's no self-awareness with these people. There's no self-awareness with these people. I want you to keep in mind the Gina Carano firing while you're hearing this entire article. Just keep that in the back of your mind, okay? Money, of course, can talk in the form of box office receipts, which is why, following the success of Wonder Woman and the Black Panther. Okay, now you're hearkening back to the success of Wonder Woman and not mentioning Wonder Woman 1984. Very important there. Black Panther, total success. And it won't be now because of, unfortunately, the loss of Chadwick Boseman, who was a good Black Panther. Completely wasted in his own movie, but it was a solid, good Black Panther who I thought was great in Civil War. We're now set to see more of Harley Quinn and a Black Superman movie. If cash is going to set the agenda, let's hope the agenda at least moves us forward rather than treading in place. We'll see. We'll see. Black Panther, see what Warner Brothers, what Jar Jar Abrams wants to do with the Black Superman movie is make a Black Panther. The problem is it's already been done. And it's been done with an original character that has ties, that has a history, that was introduced in the 60s and is a real, separate, original character with his own mythos, and he's had some pretty damn good comic book runs, I will say. And us nerds absolutely accept him as a very legit superhero who could have led the Avengers and nobody would have had a single problem with it. Harley Quinn is played out. Birds of Prey damaged the brand. The one takeaway from Suicide Squad is everybody loved Harley Quinn. Now, I can't stand her costume. I don't like that costume. I like the OG animated series costume. But you're damn right. They're right at the end, but this person is convinced that those movies are going to do well and the other ones won't. We'll see. We will see. How well did Dark Fate do? Not well. How well do you think No Time to Me 2 is going to do? Not well. Not well. Wonder Woman 84. How was that received? It was fucking terrible. All right, Marvel, I'm putting the ball in your court. I want you to make a Captain Marvel 2, and do not fill it with other superheroes. I want just a standalone Brie Larson by herself Captain Marvel movie. Bring it, and let's see how it does. Did you rehire the directors from the first movie? Was a hit. You would think they would rehire the directors from the first film. Oh, they didn't. Last time I checked, Ryan Coogler is going to direct Black Panther 2. Why wouldn't you rehire the directors from the billion-dollar success Captain Marvel movie? You would want to repeat that success. I mean, they brought back Patty Jenkins. Turned out to be not a very good move, but they did it. She earned that. She absolutely earned that. Had a lot of help from Zack Snyder. Oh, my God. I'm sorry I had to read those fracking articles. They're terrible. Snyder Cut fans, Alexa, I'm not jumping on any bandwagon, by the way. You earned this. I wasn't there. I was always open to there being a Snyder Cut. I thought it was believable. You were saying there was a Snyder Cut out there, and I'm like, well, considering the guy did most of the movie, I'm thinking there was one. And I, if I was pressed, did I ever think it would see the light of day? No, but I had hoped it would. It wasn't a sentiment because there was a lot of Access Media. I mean, it's fine to say, hey, I don't think the thing exists, but to come out and say, I've got sources that say it doesn't exist. Well, no. Do I think it would have come out without the Coof and HBO Max? No, I don't. I really don't. But I could, but it doesn't matter because it's out. And I'm really happy. I support any fan movement. I'm not a Sonic fan at all, but I absolutely loved what that director did. And guess what? He had a hit movie, and he's getting a sequel now because he listened to the fans. So fuck the Access Media. You do not need to go to these sites anymore. They don't bring you any new information. They don't really know what they're talking about most of the time. And let's go to like Newsarama, which broke the story about Cap, but I can't say Newsarama because it's actually Games Radar. Why did one of the biggest comic book websites have to get absorbed into another gaming website? Because nobody cares about comics anymore. Because comics need to do things like we have a gay Cap, which I will get into. But Snyder Cut fans, you earn this. Enjoy the victory lap. And continue to call out the people who are all of a sudden going to be all about it. They're going to be all about it. You have every right to call them out. And I hope this thing's a massive success. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. I would love to see an air cut of Suicide Squad. I don't think we will, but maybe. You never know. Yes. I believe Zack Snyder has come out and said that they just want this to go away afterwards. And I don't think Ray Fisher helped anything. I think calling out Joss Whedon is fine, but I think doing it during this time hurt it. I think it definitely hurt the cause. And that's too bad. And I think Ray Fisher decided to use the Snyder Cut momentum to bring attention to himself. And I think it hurt it. I think it did. But either way, the day is almost here. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's great. I will review it. And quite frankly, I think this will be better than any Marvel movie that comes out this year. I'm pretty confident in saying that. Black Widow is written by Jack Schaefer, who didn't know who Mephisto was until she started doing press for WandaVision. Who didn't come up with the sitcom idea for WandaVision. It was Kevin Feige. She was just there to provide structure. She didn't think the sitcom idea was interesting. And you know what? She made a show that was uninteresting because she didn't know what the fuck she was doing. So if you guys want legit reviews Just go to your fellow fans. And as far as legit entertainment information, I'd say you still want to go to like Deadline or Hollywood Reporter when announcements are made. But outside of that, you're just as good going to your fellow fans. Find somebody you trust who you think is legit. Because the rest of the sites are no different than, Mike Zero, to be honest with you. They're no different. Comicbook.com is owned by CBS, so every Star Trek article they write is fluff. It's garbage. It's filled with fallacies, and then they'll take shots at fans. The reason they take shots at fans is we are effective because we're the fans. We make the decisions. We are the ones in charge. Always have been. Always will be. We are winning. It's going to take a long time to win this, folks, but we are winning. And the Snyder Cut fans won. Spanked them. Take the L, Access Media. Just take the fucking L. Oh, and YouTubers out there. I think Film Gob has a pretty good collection of people who are saying the Snyder Cut didn't exist. Good for Film Gob. Real quick, I want to shout out my good friend Az from Heel versus Babyface. His song, Meltdown, Ocean Man, charted yesterday. It charted. It fucking charted on iTunes. I think on the electronic charts, and I think on the overall charts. Go look at his Twitter. It fucking charted. Now, the good thing about this song is it's a catchy little tune. I like it. And the proceeds go to charity. They go to charity. They go to oh God, I can never remember what the acronym is. But it's the charity that Uche's live stream is. It's American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, right? AFSP. So it's for a good cause. Az isn't taking any money. Problem being put it together too. Our good friend and our mod here, Problem being put it together. And I'm sure he deserves a little cheddar for doing all that work. But I'm so proud of both of them. So hail Az and Problem being. And it's for a good cause. That's the main part. It's for a good cause. Okay, our next article, I'm going to read some super chats, and then we're going to talk about Disney being called out by Forbes. Disney being called out by Forbes. Let's go over here. All right, we got $99.99 from George. George Malo, what's up, brother? Thank you for the $99.99. Hell yeah. Hey, Gary, excited. Can't wait for the Snyder Cut. Civilization is not whiteness. Math is not racist. Hollywood is propaganda. Woke education is child abuse. Comics are our modern mythology. Classic heroes inspire everyone. We want great stories, not Jar Jar spewmores. And hail Nerdrotic. Hail to you, sir. Thank you so much. Hail to you. Yeah, mystery box. That's what WandaVision was. It was mystery box. Thank you so much, George. I appreciate it. You rock, dude. You rock. And I know there are so many people out there just so excited for the Snyder Cut, and they should be. And again, take the victory lap. Silver Axe 13 for $4.99. First super chat. Well, I'll be gentle. Hey, Gary, I'm glad you're as excited for Snyder's Justice League as I am. Time to enjoy a real comic book film. Love you, man. Love you too. Oh, I am going to watch it on my 4K projector in my theater room. And I just want to see superheroes beating the shit out of each other or bad guys for 4 hours. I'm down. I am down. I've got popcorn. I am ready. Hi, Nerd Cookies. It's been a while since I see Nerd Cookies, and I think of the fantasy books that we both mutually love. And George R. Martin came out with an update on kind of on the Winds of Winter. He's still not finished. And Lord of the Rings, on Prime. Guess what? Another actor has left. They can't get this freaking pilot right, and I don't know if it's gonna see the light of day. And there is some big problems with the most expensive TV show ever made. Goat Art Bazaar for $5. I know DCEU isn't the best, but I can't help but enjoy it more than Marvel movies. Marvel just felt the same after with a different skin. It interesting analogy there. It did. Marvel is getting cookie cutter, and it's because of Disney. Disney could have never started the MCU, and I've gone over this before. Hey, I got to check something here. Always got to make sure the stream isn't getting ghosted. So let's log into a different account and see. There we go. We're good. Okay. Make sure to share this out there far and wide. I would appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, I've heard, according to my analytics, that a few of you out there haven't subscribed. Maybe today I've earned your subscription. Thank you very much. I also have 2 other channels, Nerdrotic Daily, Nerdrotic Live. Go check them out. That's where this live stream will go when it is done. Goat Art Bazaar, thank you for the $5. Disney is getting cookie cutter. I can tell you how Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to turn out. It'll probably be average. The episodes will be short. They'll give you a little bit of information. It'll be mystery box for like 9 episodes. Hopefully, Baron Zemo is a cool villain. Hopefully, it's not what they say it's going to be, which is a study of racism in America, something about the police. And then Sam Wilson becomes Captain America, which I'm not interested in. Marvel, the MCU has skipped over generations of stories that talk about the passing of the mantle to Cap. Bucky, there's a great Brubaker run of Bucky as Cap. It was so good that customers in my comic shop were telling me, I'm okay if Steve Rogers never returns. I'm okay with this. And then they did the Sam Wilson Captain America, and how well did that turn out? No, it didn't. It didn't. But in the MCU, in Marvel Comics currently right now, Steve Rogers is a Yahtzee. Culture Casino for $5. Smiley face for the nooner. Disney slap in Forbes is one of the first steps. Let's support the Snyder Cut charity stream and the film itself. Absolutely. Could not agree more. Any beard growing tips? Yes. Let it grow. That's what I do. You just let it grow. You trim it once in a great while, but just let it grow. And beard oil. Yellow Flash 2 for $5. Captain America is fabulous. We will talk about Cap. We will most definitely talk about Cap in just a moment. Well, actually, we're going to get to the Forbes article first. Polaris sucks for 2 Canadian pesos. MCU is making it super easy to boycott Marvel. Oh yeah, I'm not picking up my Disney Plus. We'll review Falcon and Winter Soldier this Friday night. By the way, Friday Night Tights, Eric July. Do not miss it. Dude knows his comic books and his politics and his pop culture. He's what you call a Renaissance man. He raps, he sings. Thank you, Polaris Sucks, for the 2 Canadian pesos. Yeah, it's there. What's Falcon and Winter Soldier gonna? This one is supposed to be more of your basic Marvel, but for one, Winter Soldier doesn't look like Winter Soldier at all. He just looks like Sebastian Stan in a motorcycle jacket. There's nothing that makes him look like a superhero. Falcon's got a decent costume, but I fear they're going to ruin Sam Wilson as a character, which was a good character in the MCU. Hail and happy St. Paddy's Day. That's right, it's St. Paddy's Day. Personally excited for the Snyder Cut and to do some bidding tonight on the Snyder stream. Proud to be a Toxic fan. Me too. Hashtag me too. Thanks, Mr. Insanity. Hope things are getting better for you. Darius Munchausen, thank you for the $1.49 donation. I greatly appreciate it. Full Metal Vash 7 for $2. It's my birthday. Can I get a happy birthday? Happy birthday, Full Metal Vash 7. May you live 1,000 more years. And may good fortune rain down upon you. Welcome to the Geloja level of the memberships, Brian Kim. Hashtag we love Gina Carano. That's right. We love Gina Carano. And that is not going away, is it? It's not going away. Disney made a huge mistake. And guess who said so? Forbes. Forbes called out Disney. Now, in this article, you're going to hear everything we've said, but hearing it from them does matter. It's a little late. It's very safe to do so. But I want you to remember everything that was just said about the Snyder Cut. And everybody who's complaining about the toxic fandom of the Snyder Cut, everybody who was complaining about Kelly Marie Tran being forced off of social media, were the same goddamn people who got rid of Gina Carano. I love drawing my fan art and writing fan fiction, but if I would never put my fan crap in canon, it's a fun hobby, but not meant to alter the source material. Yeah. Do side stories all you want. That's why I love DC's Elseworlds. You just say Elseworld, and then you tell a different story. Great. I'm all for it. Love the Elseworld stuff. Opposition Transmissions for £5. Everyone remember Friday 19th, March 8th. GMT, tweet out Cavill is Superman. Yes. So on the 19th at 8 p.m. GM time, whatever that is, hashtag Cavill is Superman to show your support for this man and not the Jar Jar Abrams monstrosity. I fully support that. Henry Cavill is Superman. Goat Art Bazaar for $2. Fans are toxic. Voters are Yahtzees. Yes, everybody who voted to recall Gavin Newsom apparently is a Yahtzee now, including my wife, which is hilarious. John Oakletree for $4.99. They say we're toxic. I feel like they keep telling us that there are 5 lights when we only see 4. I really don't get it. I'll pay for a good product. Yep. John Oakletree, that's exactly what they're doing. They're repeating the lie over and over again until it's true. Think about it. The media has an adversarial relationship with the fans. Think about it. Lucasfilm has an adversarial relationship with the fans. This is where we are right now. And they have had a little break because of the coof and because of the, funny money that's been thrown around over the last year. It's been able to hide that barometer that we provide, right? A movie flopping at the box office. Well, those days are coming back. I mean, you want to hurt Lucasfilm? Have taste. Because yes, there's Disney consumers out there, but I mean, are you excited about the 2 movies that are coming out? The one directed by Taika Waititi, which we know nothing about, and then Rogue Squadron by Patty Jenkins, the woman who just had Wonder Woman drape a guy and didn't realize it. Human Kirk for £10. To your B5 journey. I know we ribbed you, but honestly, you don't need to review it. We already know it rocks. Just wanted to share the joy with my favorite entertainer who all appreciate the Lord of the Rings style lore. Yes. Well, I'm going to review it on the Real BBC Human Kirk. But I'm not going to do a separate review. But I liked it. Yes, I watched my first Babylon 5 episode and I liked it. And Az and I are going to continue it. Alder BW for $4.99. Hey, Gary, first time donor. Oh, well. I'll be gentle. First time donor, JJ ruining DC will suck. I have thrown my money at WB for a good new Gods movie focused on Mr. Miracle, Big Barda, and or Orion. And you will get Ava DuVernay's woke ass shit written by Tom King, who likes to cancel Asian people. Tom King tried to cancel Jay Lee because he did a cover for Ethan Van Sciver, who was thanked at the end of the Snyder Cut. And it triggered so many people.
Where's the trigger?
Roof Korean is John Galt for $5. The fact that the author is probably foaming at the mouth and seething because they have to write this article is schadenfreude on epic proportions. It really is. It really is. They are eating so much crow right now, and it's beautiful. Solid Gold CEO for 10 pounds. Stupid Warner Brothers capitulating so they get those toxic fans' attention and money. Imagine being able to double dip financially by fixing a terrible movie. It's madness. No, great point, by the way. Great point. Listen, fad movements generally don't go anywhere. I remember Serenity. I was all about Serenity happening, and that was a huge fan moment. And Universal made Serenity, and Serenity was a good movie. And it didn't do well at the box office, and they made a ton of mistakes. They did too many free screenings, and they vastly overestimated how many people were interested. And those free screenings screwed it up, and it took too long and all this other shit. They made a bunch of mistakes, but it proved that, like, yeah, you know, just because some people are loud about something, it doesn't make it a huge fan movement. I think this one is bigger. I don't know how much bigger, and that remains to be seen. But if you listen to the fans a little bit more just on certain things, you know, Peter Jackson listened to the fans about Arwen fighting in Helm's Deep, took her out, and we got a better product for it. So there are examples. This is unprecedented, though. This is crazy. And yeah, if studios can go back and fix movies and double dip on them, they'll do it. Anything they can save money on, they'll do it. And if this is a huge success, maybe we'll get an Ayer cut. I don't know if we'll get sequels, but an Ayer cut might be possible. I don't know how much he shot. Craig Flanagan for $20. Gary, I feel the media abuse towards fans really started 5 years ago with BVS. The vitriol towards it was uncalled for and done to help Civil War. Since then, it's been one toxic fan article after another. Your thoughts? No, I completely agree. That's what I remember. I remember the Access media really wanting to suck on the Disney teat. Now, I like Civil War. I thought it was a good movie. It's not better than Winter Soldier, but it's good. And I think Warner Brothers made a huge mistake by wanting their dessert first. They should have done exactly what Marvel did. You had the roadmap. Slowly build up your heroes, differentiate yourself all day long. But they did make some mistakes. But they could have corrected those mistakes. And if you think about it now, like they're restarting again, and it's such a mishmash. You're using Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot, but you're not going to use Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. And they're going off all the wrong data. Like Aquaman was a success because it wasn't an identity politics filled piece of crap. It was just a superhero movie. That's all people wanted. Like Marvel's going to be their own worst enemy. Marvel has gotten arrogant and they're starting to think, oh, the fans exist for us, you know. The fans are the straw that stirs the drink. The fans are the ones with the money. You present things to us, we decide if we like it or not. But Disney's whole attitude now is, we'll decide what you like. Oh, really? Okay. Let's see how that works out. In another universe, straight-edged business suit Gary is on Twitter advocating for giant corporations and harassing people from his home in Maine. in another universe. Flamethrower candle for $5. Yes. Thanks to CERN. We have multiple universes now. Yeah, I've worn a suit before. I can be straight edge if I want to be. I don't really like it, though. CJ, welcome to the Geloja level. I appreciate it. Welcome. Well, God damn it. Boomer. That's what I meant to hit. I need to color code those better. AT&T took on a massive debt, and now they are betting everything on HBO Max. The only excitement in the market was hashtag release the Snyder Cut. It was a no-brainer. Listen, they're making this House of the Dragon, and nobody cares because Game of Thrones was a complete failure. If Game of Thrones was a success, that's all people would be talking about was this next Game of Thrones thing. It's got a pretty decent cast. It's got Matt Smith. Nobody cares. The Watcher, welcome to the Geloja level. I appreciate it. Michael Deich for $50. The accusing access media follows the old Soviet pattern. If you weren't guilty, we wouldn't have arrested you. Petty, self-righteous. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Apparatchiks? Sorry, you're smarter than I am, Michael. Make the word smaller. Roof Korean, but you're right. It's East Germany. That's what it's like working at Disney. Roof Korean is John Galt for $5. Dear Hollywood and big media, don't take it personal. We don't hate you. We're just fortifying our favorite franchises in the name of preserving culture. Well said. Prometheus, thank you for the $1. I appreciate it. Adam for $4.99. Gary, I just joined. Is Marvel now trying to turn Storm by now? Saw a comic panel that looks like they might be implying it. Yeah, I think they're going to turn all of their characters bi. There's a contingent in this world that really needs everybody to be bi or gay, and like, I don't know why. Like, if you're gay, cool. Be comfortable in your skin. Be happy. Live your best life. By all means, enjoy life. I don't need everybody to be straight. It's very bizarre, and it's subversive, and it's about taking down our Western culture and our canon. I talked about it in my Star Wars video. Thank you if you watched it. If you haven't, go check it out in the George Lucas video. The main point of that was talking about our modern mythology and how important mythology and storytelling is, because it provides an example of how a society can work. Why Star Trek was so important is it showed you a very good example of a utopian society, one that we probably could never live in, but it showed you one. So it shows you, like, this can happen. Maybe. Brightest Day for $2. These people see reality by gaslight. They really do. Brightest Day. I hope there's a little Green Lantern appearance in there. I hope there is. Juan Santiago Begario for 100 Argentinian pesos. Hi, Gary. Today, my normie friend sent me a text because he read about gay Captain America. He asked me if this was a joke, and I told him that it is going to be much worse. Well, I actually have some video of my first reaction. I was recording the Star Wars video, and somebody shot me the link, and I popped it up while I was recording, and I just laughed. I laughed. We'll look at that in just a second. Briefly, we're not going to read the whole article like we did last time. We're just going to briefly take a look at Forbes stating the obvious. Let's go here. Where was I? There we are. We'll get to donations too. Thank you for everybody who donated, by the way. Sorry for the silence there. I was just looking for the article. There it is. Let's see if you can see it. Nope, you can't. There you go. Now you can. That works. Okay, Disney's firing of Gina Carano is confusing and hypocritical, lacking sound management. Who is this guy? Dean Del Vecchio. Dean Del Vecchio. I write about entertainment based on my 35 years in the industry. Okay, Gene. I'm liking the cut of your jib so far. Let's go down a little bit. I've been sitting on this article for a while, allowing my opinion to form. That's something that many companies don't do enough of these days. Instead, they often rush to conclusions too fast, yielding to the views of a few vocal members of the community rather than allowing time and consideration to inform decisions. Now, here's the biggest difference between this and the Snyder Cut. The Warner Brothers had a lot of time to think about that. That was years and years and years. This was absolutely, this man is correct. It was knee-jerk. And it was knee-jerk because they wanted to get rid of her, because they didn't like her opinions. The latest example is Disney's firing of Gina Carano from The Mandalorian in February. She is a conservative who is not shy about expressing her views, the latest being a comment that compared conservatives being silenced and canceled to today's Jews being targeted during the Holocaust. An exaggeration comparison? Yes, but enough to fire her? Doubtful. No. Flat out no. She's more guilty of a bad comparison. I don't think so. Gina should have likened today's conservative cancel culture to the 50s congressional hearings held to expose entertainment people who were members of the sympathizers of the Communist Party. 10 influential actors and screenwriters were eventually jailed and blacklisted for the major movie studios for denouncing the hearings and refusing to name those who had expressed communist sympathies. That's a better comparison. Ironically, when Disney fired Gina for her opinions, it inadvertently proved her point, which many of us have been saying. We can disagree as to whether Disney was justified or not in firing Gina, but one thing is clear. Disney's management of its social responsibility persona is woefully flawed. To begin, the company's approach is confusing. Many assert that Pedro Pascal, star of The Mandalorian, offered similar analogies that Carano did. He did, though with a liberal bent, when he shared a now deleted Instagram post comparing Donald Trump voters to Yahtzees. Pascal kept his job. Carano did not. Disney's inconsistent approach led outsiders to suspect that Disney leans left, something that the CEO Bob Chapek denied at the recent shareholders meetings by stating, "I don't really see Disney as characterizing itself as left-leaning or right-leaning, yet instead standing for values that are universal. But management cannot afford to treat employees differently for similar actions. It makes Chapek's moments appear disingenuous. The company needs a universally consistent approach for its universal values." Disney's actions also appear hypocritical. At the same shareholders meeting, Bob Chapek went on to say that Disney believes in values of respect, values of decency, values of integrity, and values of inclusion. And we seek to have not only how we operate, but the content that we make reflective of the rich diversity of the world that we live in. And I think it's a world we should all live in harmony and peace. That's a noble goal. Well said. But while Disney shapes and declares these aspirations for U.S. consumption, it turned a blind eye to China when the company shot Mulan. And I pointed all this out. We point all this out. We have pointed all this out for years. Disney's approach is disingenuous. Yes, it is. Canceling people for their views is a proverbial slippery slope. No, we're at the bottom of the slippery slope. I disapprove of what you say The maxim, I do like this. I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it, is now losing ground to the rather frightening alternative of, I disapprove of what you say, and I will cancel you for it. She didn't break any laws. She just made a comparison. And we've talked about this. But the fact that Forbes is calling this out publicly, they point out the poll. Organizations need a more thoughtful system, not a knee-jerk reaction to guide decisions regarding who gets fired. They need to specify what constitutes the most egregious offenses. It needs to be transparent, so the rules are known and not hidden in vague platitudes open to interpretation. You hear that, Mama Susan? You hear that, YouTube? I'd really like that. It cannot be the decision of one person, but should be made by a group of people with varied views who apply a standard yardstick. They need to balance the right to free speech with social responsibility. They need to take into account not simply the highly vocal individuals who are fast to complain, but mainstream audiences who need time to digest the situation nuances. He points out a poll that a whopping 72% thought she was she shouldn't have been fired, basically. Achieving social responsibility is a truly noble goal, but Disney, along with many other organizations, needs to fix its haphazard approach that meanders aimlessly through the cancel culture minefield, including Bad Robot saying no more white comfort while businesses are burning in Hollywood. That one I will never forget. That is Jar Jar Abrams' biggest crime. Fanning the flames of division while shit was literally burning. Hollywood, you want to know why people are fucking mad at you? That's why. Creatives, you want to know why people are mad at you? It's your ingratitude. The normies out there, the general populace who needs time to digest nuances, understands that they see on a basic level a bunch of rich people who have jobs that are pretty cool. They're pretty radical. And these jobs, again, pay pretty well, and they see you complaining about the country that provides you these jobs, rooting on the burning down of this country. And they're like, doesn't this guy write for Star Wars? What's he so upset about? You could certainly have your views, but when you start aiming it at customers, oh, you're going to find out. You're going to find out. I don't know what the percentage is, but there's a large percentage of movie theaters that are gone. I'm going to guess a third. I could be wrong, but I'll just guess a third. Out of that third, that means your profits have dropped a third already. And out of that third, there's going to be a percentage of people who are just afraid to go to movies and never will again because of the coof. And then there's going to be the limited capacity. And then there's going to be the people who just don't like you anymore. How do you think that's going to turn out? And I mean, that's when shit will change. That's when shit will change. But it takes a couple of years to turn things around. Now, I can't explain Superman and Lois on CW, but it's good. Is it a trap? Probably. Yes, I'll say that again. But so far, it's good. The episodes I've seen. And we're getting a Snyder Cut now. But we're also going to be getting Jar Jar Abrams' Superman. Wonder Woman 84 was filled with a lot of the intersectional values that make, I mean, at the very least, make you scratch your head. WandaVision is filled with those too. But people are very angry at Hollywood for playing its part in dividing this country over the last 4 years, using your entertainment to do it, using all of your platforms to do it, and turning our beloved franchises into garbage because you made them platforms. Doctor Who apathy has completely set in to where people aren't even upset anymore. And I reported in a live stream, I don't think I'm going to make videos on, unless it's something I can absolutely back up. I'm done with rumors. I'll talk about them on live streams, but I'm done with rumors. Fucking ridiculous. But in the last live stream, I said Doctor Who being canceled was on the table. I heard that from a very credible source, and apparently it still is. And apparently this, it doesn't take a genius to figure this out. It all depends on the next season. Well, they've lost their Funko license. It looks like they're dialing down. They're ending the comic strip in Doctor Who magazine. See, the reason I bring this up is here's your end result of getting woke. You go broke. You get intersectional. You go broke. You told all the fans who love Doctor Who forever, and this applies to Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel Comics, that what you loved was wrong, and we're going to come in and fix it, and then you better like it. No, it doesn't work like that. And we aren't progressing. We are moving towards segregation. Stop it. Melissa's texting me. I'm going to turn off the phone. Fuck off. Oh, honey. I love you, babe. But yeah, I am done with it's getting a little ridiculous. But no, we're seeing the end result of all this now. Again, it's going to take a while. Star Wars got an inexplicable second, third, fourth chance, whatever, and they have blown that completely, but we're not going to see the consequence of that. But the firing of Gina Carano is worse than The Last Jedi. It's worse. This isn't going away. Nobody is going to forget this. Hashtag Solo lost money. Why do you think Solo lost money? Well, it was a shitty film, and because of The Last Jedi. And it was just as bad as The Last Jedi. Did a lot of damage to the character Han Solo. And it wasn't really about him. It was intersectional Solo. But it's nice to hear this from the Access Media. Now, I've never read an article by this guy before, but I mean, that was just common sense. And if we see an introduction of common sense in the Access Media, well, what does that tell you? Now, remember, last week there was an article written, there was a bunch of information put together by AI to help support another feminist podcast, because I need a feminist podcast like I need a pimple on my ass, like the world needs a pimple on its ass. And they used my internet baby boy, Ryan Cannell, as an example of being radicalized. So Nerdrotic and Geeks and Gamers are radicalizing America's middle-aged with what? Common sense? We didn't make The Last Jedi suck. We just broke the narrative. And they wrote that to, they used a lot of keywords to get it in the algorithm, so it would now attach itself when we were searched. I don't know if it's working or not, and I don't care. And I usually don't give oxygen to stuff like this, but we do kind of have to head it off at the pass, especially when they're trying to conflate me with people like Richard Spencer and Jeremy with Richard Spencer, which is like, what the hell? That's about the third time I've ever mentioned them. And the first time was on Friday Night Tights. When we talked about this article, Steve Bannon, these are people I don't discuss on my channel at all. And I'm not going to. We're pop culture. But it shows you we're getting through. I think that's a very interestingly timed blog. Some people from Lucasfilm decided to follow, and I don't know if they're following that count before. I think they were. I'm not sure on that. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if they got some help. We'll just say I've got some help. Or they did it on their own. Doesn't really matter. Did it work? No, it didn't work. And what they're trying to do is to get us to talk about it, to get us to like get on our heels and say, "Oh, I'm not a racist and I'm not a sexist." It's like I don't need to respond to these things. All I have to do is say, "Hey, feel free to watch any of my content at any time. It's available 24 hours a day right here on YouTube or at nerdrotic.com, or watch any of Jeremy's or Ryan's. Watch. I can't speak for Ryan, but for me, go ahead and look. Go find all those times I was talking about I was being a racist. Go find them, please. What I am done with, and this is a term I tried not to say. I generally didn't like to say this, but man, I'm fucking done with this. Fake geeks. Fake geeks. Now, you can be a new nerd and a new geek who is coming in with curiosity because you love comic books or fantasy novels or games or whatever you like. You've like a new door has been opened up to a new world. And you're like, oh, this stuff's amazing. Yes, please come in with that attitude. And there are thousands of people who will share what they love because nerds love to share what they love. And then there's the people who want to come in and go, just because it's genre is kind of the toast of the town right now. And they're like, we're going to change this. You know, I equate it to a marriage. You know, back in the old days, men and women didn't live together before they were married. So you marry somebody, they come in, and you had decided, well, we're going to, you know, we'll go 50-50 on the house. You'll decorate one room, I'll decorate the other, and we'll split our stuff. You have to make compromises. I understand that. When new people come in, you make compromises. But no, they came in with the entitlement like, oh, your time is up. Now it's our turn. No, it's not. No, it's not. And they come in, and Marvel and DC back about a decade ago started getting addicted to the headlines. And it came from Superman dying, Captain America dying, and then CNN would talk about it, and it would relate to comic book sales. Well, they had to keep doing that because as Marvel and DC were making less and less money, they couldn't hire better talent. So then they decided to embrace diversity and inclusion. And this all comes from the Me Too Time's Up era, and it all comes from saving money. So they started hiring based on what kind of junk you have in your pants, where you put that junk, or how you identify what that junk is, or the junk you don't use or sometimes use or whatever. And they weren't hiring on talent. Recently, Kelly Sue DeConnick was in a poll or some access media place, named her the greatest female comic book writer of all time. What is she most memorable for? If you don't like my politics, Don't buy my books. Problem solved. Well, problem solved. That's what she's known for. She's not known for writing anything that's memorable at all. She's a competent writer, but her politics get in the way of whatever little talent she has. She's also obnoxious, and she ruined a good character named Carol Danvers. So Marvel has been getting pretty woke since 2017, and comic book sales are in the crapper, and they have been for quite some time. A hit comic book now is selling 40,000 books, which is sad. That's to stores. That's not what's actually sold. Are there comic book readers out there? Yes. There's still a market hungry for books. That's why the back issue market is through the roof. It has never been like this. If you have a collection of Bronze and Silver Age books and you want to sell it, now's the time. Now is the time. Back issues are selling like crazy. New comics are done. They're dead. And this brings us to Cap. Okay, so on the anniversary of Snowflake and Safe Space, which I want to thank Danielle Kevelsmith, I got a lot of subscribers from those videos, and I made a couple bucks. But my disdain was absolutely genuine. I lost my mind on a live stream when I saw it. This, I feel nothing. I laughed. I did. When I first saw it, I laughed. And I just went, of course. So it's Cap's 80th anniversary. We have Pride Month coming up Pride, I think, is in June, and it varies. So for Pride, Marvel's newest Captain America is an LGBTQ plus activist. And this is the worst pandering and tokenism, and we've heard it all. Excuse me, I have to cough. I need to mute microphone. That's better. I have to prepare myself for this. So, we talked about it yesterday on The Real BBC. And, who cares? Like, make Cap gay. Make him transgender. Make him a girl. Make him a rock. Make him a dog. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I quit reading comic books. And I quit reading comic books because the people creatively involved in a medium, in a industry that I worked in and loved my entire life, my greatest passion, my number one favorite thing is comic books, was ruined by the people who worked in it. And I wanted nothing to do with them anymore. And you will hear the people who currently work there going, good, be gone. Well, there's a lot of people like me who haven't said anything. And it's not good. It's not good. Look at my room. I'm the person who made you money. So are many other people out there. And if we're walking, that's a very bad thing. And no, I don't need white superheroes and I bought books that were female and I don't need to justify shit. My comic collection speaks for itself. Filled with thousands of different stories about all makes, shapes, and sizes. The creatives want to create a narrative that it's all a bunch of Yahtzees and alt-right and Ethan Van Sciver and stuff. That no, it's the normies you have chased away. And what's hanging on now is just, I would say there's at least 15 to 20% of the audience of who's buying books who it's just habitual at this point. It's just habitual. As you know, I owned a comic shop for 10 years in San Francisco called the Comic Outpost. Won Best of the Bay in 2009. I don't think I was alt-right when I was in San Francisco, living there for 18 years, winning Best of the Bay. I don't think anybody in San Francisco would Photoshop Best of the Bay if it was run by somebody from the alt-right. Alt-right. But does this Captain America help? No. Why aren't you celebrating North Star? North Star is an actual gay character, was actually broke ground. It's original. This is a great opportunity to do something with the character. Hire your best writer, hire your best artist, launch a North Star book on Pride Month, and make it Frank Miller's Daredevil. Make it Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. Those are two examples of two, DZ-list characters that you put the top creative talent on. Maybe not at the time, but it became that way. But they had enough vision, like this person will bring a different take to it. This person will bring in readers. And those are two of the best comic book runs of all time. And it's with a guy who's a bunch of swamp goop and a blind superhero with very light superpowers. And made Foggy Nelson a household name within the comic book realm. Out of Daredevil's run, the Punisher was born out of that. Black Widow, Elektra, all these characters were leveled up during that run. Do something like that with North Star. No. We're going to make the 8th version of Cap. We're going to call this fake character that's written two-dimensionally, literally, LGBTQ. We're going to call him an activist. And then we're going to give him a trash can for a shield and make him a hobo. Oh my God, do you feel represented? My gay and lesbian friends, do you feel do you go like, I feel whole now. Thank you, Marvel Comics. He's got a commie star on one side, so he's a communist. His name is Aaron Fisher, and he's the Captain America of the railways. Yeah, because there's a contingent of young people who are hobos. It's a hobo lifestyle. It's generally centered around lots and lots of drugs, but they exist. They have existed. Now he's homeless. I don't think they call him homeless, but he's homeless, which would, I guess, be the most interesting part. But yeah, his shield is a trash can lid. I'm pretty sure if you walk up to this guy with a 9 and shoot him in the face, he'll die. Not sure what damage he could do. This little, I don't know if I got to make sure you can see it. This little strap here on his arm, this little strap here on his arm, that's to cover the track marks from all the heroin he does. I mean, you could see some of the track marks. Oh, that's a tattoo. See right here. Little strap. And apparently, this got a lot of clapback on Twitter, and that's exactly why they did it. So the reason Marvel announced this was to get people screaming and yelling about it and complaining about it, and then they could go, look, we're right. Look at all those Yahtzee, bigoted, phobic fans. When this is, instead of getting your best writer available, you had to make sure, I mean, we're in the segregation. We're in the full-on segregation in entertainment now. Only gay people can write gay characters. Only black people can write black characters. But anybody else can write a white character. And it's stupid. It's just stupid. Pretty soon, the writers' rooms at TV shows will be, okay, Jim is hired to write the male characters, and Bob is going to write the black male characters, and you're going to have like teams of writers, and it's going to be fucking terrible. It's going to be fucking terrible. And this is why entertainment has peaked as far as scripted entertainment. Hollywood, the blockbuster film, peaked because there's a bigger fish out there. It's called video games. And now they're fighting us for content. And I talked about this yesterday. There's no way, and earlier, there's no way they compete with me live streaming for what? Maybe, what does this cost me? 10 cents? If you average it all out, the budget for today's episode was 10 cents. I did a whole 30 minutes of preparation before this one. That's why I started on close to on time. And I'm competing against giant studios with lighting and graphics and multiple teams of editors and engineers. And sure, I boomer at a lot of shit. I don't care. And that's the beauty of it, is I can boomer shit. I don't care. And they can't. The slightest mistake is horrifying to them. So this is an original character. It's not going to be Steve Rogers. The United States of Captain America, Steve Rogers, John Walker, Sam Wilson, and Bucky Barnes will team up to retrieve the stolen shield of Captain America. The four heroes will embark on a road trip, during which they will meet local heroes inspired by the legacy of Captain America to defend their own communities. The first issue of the 5-part Fisher, an openly gay hero, is described as the Captain America of the railways, protecting some of the most marginalized people in society. So when he goes out to fight, he checks your bank account. And he goes, I'm sorry, I can't protect you. Sorry, Martha and Thomas Wayne. I can't protect you. You're going to get shot. You're not marginalized. Being called the term marginalized should be incredibly offensive. I'm sorry you're so marginalized, but we're going to help you. We the elite, we're going to help you. All of those other people, all those other white people have been oppressing you, but we're going to help you while you're down there. Now, you better stay down there, but while you're down there, we're going to help you because you're so marginalized. You're not as privileged as I am. You don't have the same platform I do. And because you didn't get an education, you're not as smart because you're marginalized. Horrific. Homelessness, being homeless is tragic. I've been homeless. It was my responsibility for being homeless. And once I learned it was my responsibility, it helped me break. It helped me progress and not be homeless. When I realized that, and I've talked about this before, I truly internalized that the world is not a fair place. And I need to accept that while we still try to make it a better place. And we do that through individual actions and deeds, not with a hashtag or changing your avatar. Little actions every day. You know, it's been real tough on retail sales and small businesses. Instead of bitching about shit, you know what? Don't shop on Amazon. Drive to a small business and give them some business. And while you're there, be really fucking nice to the people who are working there. That's how you make the world a better place. You can do it today. You can do it today. Marvel is just using the LGBTQ plus community to make money. Pride has been corporate for a long, long time. And I made the analogy yesterday. If you've ever been to San Diego Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con was great until about 2006, when Hollywood and the corporations started getting involved. And that's when they did the cap on tickets. That's when it became impossible to get tickets. Did you know half of the Comic-Con tickets are comps? They're comps through the corporations. So they completely commercialized and ruined Comic-Con. I still go, but going inside is a nightmare. Everything's too expensive. The comics are gone, and everything I loved about it's kind of dead. And I kind of went as a habit too. It's a great place to meet up with people, though. Still, that's what Pride is now. That's what I mean. For one, it's normalized, which is great. That's what we wanted. But now it's Pride, sponsored by Coke, who tells you to be less white. I mean, is there anything that's lame? It's just lame. And listen, Pride was supposed to be their week, so they can party. They can go party, thumb their nose at the man or the woman, or just have a good time. And good. It was supposed to be their week, but you see what's happening is it's getting hijacked by the corporations now. And this is part of it. This is, again, there's a gay character called North Star that you could have just made a series on and made it a Pride variant special and put some legitimate talent on it that would have sold. This will now not sell. This will not sell. It will be forgotten. It was only done to upset people so you can call them trolls. And that's emotional blackmail marketing at its finest. And by next week, I'll forget. I just thought it was interesting that it was on the anniversary of Snowflake and Safe Space. It was announced. Oh, by the way, we have let's celebrate the 1-year anniversary of 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Yes. Oh, we meant 52 weeks. We meant 52 weeks. I don't care if a character's gay. I don't. Nobody does. I want my superhero to punch Galactus in the mouth. That's what I want. And I want a good story leading up to it. I want that punch to have emotional resonance. Torment. Torment's a lot like, it's written, it's Todd McFarlane art. It's a Spider-Man story I like quite a bit. It's a lot like Kraven's Last Hunt, but Spider-Man is trapped and tormented. And there's a scene where he finally comes back with Mary Jane, and it hits you. It hits you. She was genuinely worried about him, and it's the little stuff like that, you know. It's Daredevil, Matt Murdock talking to a broken up Bullseye in a hospital bed after he killed Elektra. It's that kind of shit. It's Spider-Man confronting the Kingpin in prison after Aunt May was shot and she's clinging to life. and you see what makes Spider-Man different from all the other superheroes. Not unlike Superman, but Spider-Man holds back. Spider-Man could kick a lot of ass and be ruthless, and with his power, he could be scary. But he doesn't, because Peter Parker's a good guy. Peter Parker's a good guy. He drops the good guy, breaks into a prison, beats the crap out of the Kingpin, and then reminds him, I can do this whenever I want. I can end you whenever I want. And guess what? It's always been me who's kept me from ending you. And now I'm going to do it if Aunt May dies. So you better pray she lives, or I'll be back to end you. It was fucking epic. Too bad what came after it was one more day and some shit. But that was epic. When I read it, I was like, that's why I read comic books. Setup, story. But that story itself, don't you think that perpetuates violence? And he broke into a prison. Or is everybody guilty in that prison? Or were they wrongfully imprisoned? I think that's toxic maleness. I think they should have had a conversation over tea and maybe some baguettes. No. So we have, again, interlopers, posers, people who like to antagonize fandom. I mean, we all get pissed when we see male tiers being drunk. But if you go down to the basic level of what's the motivation behind that? Like, you're in fandom. Half the fandom is men. Well, sorry, majority of fandom is men. And women have always been welcome, and the majority is still men. They've tried very hard to get more women in, largely going about it very wrong, and it still hasn't worked. But you work for Star Wars, and you not only have a cup that says "Drink Male Tears," you take a picture of yourself drinking it. The fuck are you thinking? If you work for me, you'd be fired. You'd be fired. It's like, fuck you telling my audience that you like drinking their tears. Piss off. Get fucked. And by the way, you're an interloper. You work for Star Wars. You're just a little cog in a big machine. And honestly, it's not like that person brings any milkshakes to the yard, if you know what I'm saying. Zane Elliott for $10. My wife is black. She loves Wonder Woman and even dressed up as Wonder Woman one year for Comic-Con. She has never complained about comic characters being white. Because your wife is a normal individual human being who probably has a lot more going on than just skin color or just where you put your stuff or where I mean, like, this collectivism mentality is the death of art. It's the death of art. That's why I've always been like kind of fascinated why so many artists want to be socialists and communists. It's like, because you think you can draw for free all day? Is that essentially it? I mean, like, art only flourishes in good economies. What? There's some bullshit analogy in Star Trek Discovery that the Renaissance was started by the 3-point perspective. And I'm sure artists would love to hear that. No, the Renaissance started because of surplus. Money, food. The weather it got warmer. In warmer climates, more shit grows, which gives you an abundance of food, which means you don't have to worry about it, which means you can have skilled jobs like sculptors, and you don't have to just run around and like survive every day. You have extra time in your hands. That's what creates art. For fuck's sake. I have been kicked out of 3 high schools and I know that. The first Peter Bankman scene in Ghostbusters sadly would not be acceptable today. No, Ghostbusters wouldn't be acceptable today. It'll probably get a warning label on it, and that's why I own physical media. For one, they're going to get rid of physical media. That's why I've been saying it for years. Like, the only way these streaming services are ever going to work is like Paramount owns Star Trek. The only place you can see Star Trek is on Paramount. The problem is it's still going to be on Netflix for quite some time. Apparently, by the way, Paramount Plus is a giant bust. It's a giant bust, which is great. I love it. What happened to Jake Long, who played Anakin? That was real harassment and bullying. What these grown adults went through was like stubbing your toe. Yeah, exactly. No, Jake Long was a child actor in Hollywood. And I asked the question, what happened to all of them? Why are they so, once in a while you get an addict, but it's kid after kid after kid. And well, I'll tell you what led to my addiction. For one, I was born an addict. Absolutely born. I have bad brain chemistry, a different brain chemistry that is diagnosed as a disease of being prone to addiction. I also suffered like horrific abuse as a kid. Not from my parents, by the way. And that is a commonality with a lot of people who are in recovery, we'll say. Huge commonality. So no. To quote the great C.S. Lewis, what do they teach in school these days? Well. Even in my video, I didn't want to get into it in the video because it was just a kid asking a question. And I don't know if he was fed that question, but that whole seminar was about race and social justice. And like, that's what they're teaching them for very young, and they are being indoctrinated. There is no, most teachers nowadays, at least in California schools and stuff, are on one side of the aisle. That's not a good thing. And they're very happy to tell you their politics all the time. Not a good thing. I don't think a teacher should ever be talking about personal politics, and they need to come at things right down the middle. The problem is that Disney has been pushing the narrative that they're on the right side, or they're on the middle. And so as California, it's a one-party state. Like, who am I supposed to get mad? How can I get mad at Republicans in California? There aren't any. I saw a picture of KK last week. What the heck is going on with her face? It's almost like it was melting into Jabba the Hutt. Could she be a real alien monster? Cole whispers Kathleen Kennedy has had a lot of work. A lot of work done. I'll just say that. Roll Titan for $5. I went to a 4-year college while working in TV and film. As a freelancer, I learned more in the last month freelancing than my entire 4 years in college. Not surprised. Actually going out and doing things leads to learning things. All right, we're going to go to some donations here. And we got Koczynski for $3. As a comic expert, why is it you think the Hulk hasn't been able to probably adapt into a good solo movie? Thoughts on the Ang Lee Hulk? Oh, it's a rights issue, Koczynski. It's a rights issue. Universal still owns the distribution rights to Hulk, so he could only be in team movies. Or they have to co-produce it with Universal, and Disney doesn't want to share the money, and they don't think they don't think Hulk would do well enough. And the reason they haven't been able to do a good Hulk film is because they haven't found the right person yet. There's a good Hulk film there. Absolutely. Ang Lee's Hulk is partially good. The effects are great in it. It devolves into some weird father-son thing at the end, but I don't hate the Ang Lee Hulk. I don't at all. Bobby Sharps for $10. Good night, gentlemen. It says good night. Oh, that's from the 12th. That's why. There we go. That was just our one and only donation. So there we go. Thanks for the donation. I appreciate it. Oh, I had to refresh. Sorry, my bad. Saldrin for $25. Hail, Gary. Hail, chat. Everyone, have a great day. You have a great day, too. You do. Untitled End for $3.50. First super chat. Hail, Gary. Oh, yes. I don't have to read it. Okay. Yes, please email me if you want to pitch stuff, Gary@nerdrotic.com. Absolutely. And thanks for the compliments on my background. Grey Ghost for $5. The Phantom Menace hit piece put Bannon at the top, and I think should have had 3 more tiers above him. Rian Johnson above Bannon, and Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger at the top. The Last Jedi radicalized YouTubers. Disney is a pipeline to the alt-right. Oh, good point. Good point. You know, if Rian Johnson didn't want to subvert our expectations and want to subvert Luke Skywalker, nobody would have gotten pissed. Destiny Captain for $1. Gary sent a super chat on Nerdrotic Live about 7 days ago. There was going to be a square up. Did it ever happen? Can't seem to find it. The square ups, when I get the square ups done, Destiny Captain, I put them up on Nerdrotic Live. And not a super chat will be left behind. But I have to have time to record them. But it will get read. Don't worry, Destiny Captain. It'll get read. I promise you, it will be read eventually. Big Worm for $5. Hail, chat. Hail, Gary. Got here an hour and a half late, watching from the beginning at 2x speed. Been reading the DVD worth of old X-Men comments. The DVD worth of old X-Men comments you recommended. Oh, comics. So yeah, there's a DVD ROM that has X-Men 1 through, I think it's all the Uncanny X-Men. They've done that with Fantastic Four and Amazing Spider-Man. They are PDFs. They're collectible. They're expensive, but they're out there. Got Spider-Man 2. It's awesome. New Superman and Lois is super good. Hope it holds up. Live long and prosper. Live long and prosper. I hope it holds up too. My next video will be WandaVision review, then Snyder Cut review, and I promise you, absolutely promise you, when Superman and Lois is going on a hiatus after the 5th episode because of the coof, I will do a review of those 5 episodes and put it on the main channel and speak very highly of it if it maintains. And yeah, as far as the super chats and donation square ups go, we have a new hire starting Saturday that's going to assist me with these things, because Destiny Captain, as I said in the past, I don't know if you missed me saying it before, I am rereading all of the super chats because I don't have anybody pulling them out, so I don't know what I've read and what I don't read. So I have to go back and reread them all from previous live streams. That takes twice as long. So you'll probably get one Thursday morning. It might be 2-3 hours long. Not sure. Your super chat or donation may or may not be in there because I'm about 2 weeks behind. But again, I don't leave any of them behind. I do square ups. Crimson Land 1 for $10. Thank you. New Super Mario Maker 2 content creator here. Awesome. Come check out and sub. Love you, nerd. Happy St. Paddy's Day. Happy St. Paddy's Day. So it's new Super Mario Maker 2 content creator here. Come and check it out. And it's called Crimson Land 1. Go check it out. Ryan radicalized Grey Ghost for $5. Dude, I really got to thank you for recommending Battlestar Galactica. The series is phenomenal. That stupid hit piece wanted to paint you as hating women / diversity, yet that show back in 2003 had more and did it better than Disney, Star Wars, Mexican, and female leads. Yes. Oh, fuck. Edward James Olmos was the fucking man in that. I'm looking at my statue of him right over there. Yeah. I don't need to justify this shit. I don't. I really don't. Drug 3PO for $5, just showing some support for my good friend. Aw, thanks, buddy. No need to read this, but I did. Shout out to Drunk 3PO. Shout out to Drunk 3PO. Cody Duffin for $3 says, fucking scissoring. That's right. Az's fucking song charted. That is epic. That is brilliant. Ike Ellis for $5. Hail, Gary. I agree with you on 1/6 Dark Side, though I'd add Black Suit Superman to that too. Oh, no, I'm right there with you. Give me a Black Suit Superman. I know there's some customs out there, but I want the real deal. I want the real deal. I want a better Batman too. So the Batman up there is from Justice League, and I wanted it. They're supposed to have a gray suit, and it's too dark, and I don't like it. Hey, Gary, I saw an open cinema yesterday in Palmdale. On that note, hashtag recall Newsom. Yes. Is it post-apocalypse? I can't even pronounce that. Post-apocalypse. I know I'm supposed to read that right. That's probably, fuck, I'm such a boomer. I'll figure it out later. Jester of Roanoke for $2. I am right here. I am right there with you now. I can't do a rewatch of WandaVision because of how bad the ending was. It proves Marvel is barreling towards an epic failure with a mega MCU move, which will bomb spectacularly. Yes, and I love that everyone is using the MCU. It's so great. It's stuck. Thank you, Jester of Roanoke. Oh, my goodness. Dad Man Walking 55 for $100. Just a bit to help with your process of looking for a new home. The free state of Florida is open. This doesn't begin to cover what I've gotten from the channel over the last year. Sent an email. I know you're busy. Hope you get a chance to read it. Dad Man Walking. I will read it. I will respond. Thank you for the $100. And yeah, we, Melissa and I hit the road very soon, and we're going to start looking for houses. It's on. It's serious. This is happening, and I can't wait for it to happen. And the last 2 days, the fact that my gym was still closed yesterday, that was it for me. I'm like, fucking, oh, no. You know what did it for me yesterday? You can't scream on a roller coaster in Southern California. That's right. According to state guidelines, you can't scream on a motherfucking roller coaster. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Fuck this place. Phoenix Tangent for $10. Hail, Gary. The article is a direct attack on Bob Chapek's ability to manage Disney. Bob needs to act or he looks weak to Wall Street. It's Forbes. The audience is investor, funds, and CEOs, and it's an audience that can't be attacked by Kennedy dogs. Yeah. Well, Disney looks very weak because they're petty. Pettiness is a weakness. It is a weakness. And if you're a businessman and you see your competition is petty and they're jealous, oh, you're like, awesome. Great. Because to beat them, all you have to do is not be petty, not be jealous. It's a victory already, and you didn't have to lift a finger. You didn't have to do anything. Oh, they're an insecure, little petty company. They will hasten their own demise. Folks, Disney will not be on top forever. Disney Plus is a success. Great. Okay. It still relies on content, and old content only works if it's like a sitcom, But Disney movies, and I know Disney has its fans, but Disney Disney basically said, Bob Chapek basically said that Republicans are immoral. That's what a lot of them heard in that statement. Because you can't fire Gina Carano and then come back and say you're not a left-leaning company. And then follow that up by saying, no, we believe in morals. In other words, then you're just saying you're in the middle. And Gina Carano was part of that Yahtzee istophobe group. Well, there's going to be a lot of people on the right who hear the same thing. See, whether it was intended or not, you just insulted half the country. And it came off as disingenuous. And it came off as weak. There's a reason Bob Iger left. And Bob Chapek is not CEO material. That guy is a buffoon. He's an empty suit. He's a bald. And he'll probably be replaced by somebody because he is the fall guy. Disney's still making money. Don't get me wrong. Disney's making money. And I pointed out in my video how much George is making. So George isn't going to do shit. George has $10 billion. He's not coming back. He's done. Hail, Gary. Here's some toxic bucks from a toxic fan. Be seeing you. Why, thank you, Real Vector. Welcome to the toxic fan. I mean, we can own this shit. It's like being called, it's like Tyrion Lannister said to Jon Snow. Yes, you're a bastard. Own it. Wear it like armor. Svi Lebekin for $5. Hey, Gary, can you shout out my freaking awesome Comicsgate Indiegogo, the Rabbi from Another Planet Comics Bonanza? And he's got a link there. There you go. Go check out the Rabbi from Another Planet on Indiegogo. Thank you for the $5. Cross Purposes for $5. Big day tomorrow. As for stream, I just hope everyone is on their best behavior. No ranting about fucking SJWs, anyone. What a great cause and a nice dude Zach is, and hopefully a great movie. Yeah, we hope so. As far as ranting about SJWs, I know when to not rant about stuff, but thanks. Why don't you kick back and enjoy it? As a comic expert, why is it you think the Hulk hasn't been able to probably be a... Okay, I read that one. Yeah, don't worry, folks. I'm a full-grown adult. I know when to time things. And that was it on the donation side. Gomer Kyle, 79 for $5. Does anyone else think it really takes 8 years to take a gender studies class? My parents taught me the difference in 2 minutes. I was 3. And they call us grifters. Oh. I got to make sure I hit the right one. Beautiful. Def 81 for $4.99. Thank you for the donation and nothing to say. I appreciate it. Goonsy for $10. Dear Gary, you are a superhero to me. Oh, thanks. You guys are heroes to me. I appreciate it. I'm checking one thing here. I do have a time limit today. All right. George Malo, thank you again for the $99.99 super chat. I'm going to reread this real quick. Hey, Gary, let's, here, can we see that? There we go. Hey, Gary, excited. Can't wait for Snyder Cut. Civilization is not whiteness. Math is not racist. Hollywood is propaganda. Woke education is child abuse. Comics are our modern mythology. Classic heroes inspire everyone. We want great stories, not JJ Spewmores. Hail Nerdrotic. Hail to you, sir. Hail to you. Stephen T. Hail, Gary. The beard looks thick and lush. It says us, but LOL, you are the dude. Thank you, Stephen T. Yes, it's feeling thick and lush today, and it's been well trimmed by Mrs. Nerdrotic. Butt Crack Studios for 2 Canadian pesos. Think Henry Cavill will show for the fundraiser? I don't know. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up or expectations. I know Zack Snyder will be at the fundraiser, and they will be offering some pretty cool stuff, including like a Gotham City jacket and a signed poster. I will be there for the first hour, and I've got a lot of work to do. So I don't know if I can hang out for the entire thing. I will not be on when Zach's on, which is completely fine. I think it should be Snyder Cut people talking to Zach because they earned it. I don't want to take, I wouldn't dream. And by the way, I'm not going to be there. It was never intended for me to be there. But I wouldn't dream of taking somebody's place for that. That would, these guys have earned this shit. And Uche brought this together. So good for him, man. Mephisto Zarzax. It just jumped on me. Bloody hell. My goodness. All right. WG. And I'll get back up to that one. Hail Gary for $100. Hail Gary. I asked DC the other night what was his favorite sci-fi influenced rock bands were. Didn't want to leave you out. This as well. My favorite in the order are Blue Oyster Cult, Rush, Iron Maiden. What say you? Thanks, man. Hope this gets you your next burrito. Oh, I will have a burrito and some tacos today for sure. Sci-fi influenced rock band. Well, I mean, Led Zeppelin for fantasy influence. It's light, but the Tolkienism is there. So Led Zeppelin. Rush would be next. Absolutely fucking love early Rush. And then it would be Iron Maiden. I'm right there with you. I like Blue Oyster Cult too. I love, oh my God, the heavy metal soundtrack. Don't let these shakes go on. It's time we had a break from it. A veteran of the Psychic Wars. That is such a good fucking song. Oh, such a good song. It's time we had some leave. There's a good couple Cheap Trick songs on that too. Costi for 50 Australian dollars. Thank you very much. That article hit piece pushed me to pay for a monthly subscription for you. Wow, thanks. That's great. If their goal was to cancel you, it does the opposite. It really does. What it does is it drives people over. If you're curious, you see it. Remember when I can't remember what trash site it was, and they said, don't watch Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones. It's racist and blah, 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 blah. And everybody's like, oh, we got to see this now. We got to see this now. And I watched it, and I laughed my ass off. And it has been so long since I watched some like good, like beginning to end comedy. And big fan of stand-up comedy, by the way. I used to do stand-up comedy, and not me. I used to have comics over to the shop. We did comics versus comics, and we did stand-up comedy in a comic shop. So yeah, it drives people over, and it helps. It does help. So in a way, thank you, because most human beings want to know the other side of the story. See, what they were writing to is themselves. And this is how we'll beat them eventually. What's helping the whole SJW narrative right now is we have a bunch of iconoclast dipshits running Silicon Valley. And they're not as smart as they think they are, but they have a lot of control. But we also get judged a lot by their standards. You know, there's a saying, don't judge me by your standards. So what they're right with, that hit piece was written to the lowest common denominator. And most human beings are going to go, or notice that they never came to a point. They just gave a lot of information, but there was no point at the end. It was just Mauricism. Steve Bannon. They just mentioned Steve Bannon, and they showed no connection from me to Steve Bannon, from Jeremy to Steve Bannon. I'm not even saying Steve. I don't know anything about Steve Bannon. I know that the media vilified him, which makes me think I should probably go learn about Steve Bannon, and he's probably not as bad as everybody says. I know he used to be a producer. I know he ran Breitbart. I know he liked Trump. That's it. But that doesn't automatically make you evil in my book. I'm not sorry. I need a little more than that. Because the media has been lying to us for years. I no longer listen to them. They lost my trust. They broke it. They mean nothing to me. Nothing. Whatever they say is a fart in the wind. And when I see shit like, I don't know, some weird green screen thing with Biden last night, that was weird. I don't know what to make of that yet, to be honest with you. It's bizarre what world we live in right now. It really is. So I need to look. I have to take time as an adult to look for information to, get to the bottom of things, because there is a lot of nuance to everything. So yes, they failed miserably at that, and they ended up helping us in the end, and there'll be another one. And honestly, they could have picked up, they didn't even, Vigilante Williamson mentioned this in my member stream. He says it looked like it was created by AI. And I agree with them on that, because they really skipped over a lot of stuff from the last year. It looked like a lazy search, basically. Terran Gas for $5. Gary, you're not a racist. You don't even drive the speed limit. No, I don't. I don't drive the speed limit, but not slow. Melissa texting you and saying F off after is something just waiting to be clipped by Perry Chan. I know. Well, she was just clowning me. I'll tell you exactly what she said. She said, "Oh, you're done with rumors, huh?" I'll show you what she said. Hang on. I can't show you what she said. There's some other stuff I can't show you, but that's what she said. But yeah, opposition transmission for £5. Absolutely. Jason, thank you for the $9.99 donation. I appreciate it. Not another dime. Thank you for the thumbs up. Welcome to the proto molecule level. The Maxer 03. You guys are going to get a very special member stream in 2 weeks. Usually the proto molecule level, it's just a donation level, but we're going to give you something. Gina actually didn't make the comparison. You're right. She just pointed out to someone else making it and said, "What do you think about this?" J. Pat, you are 100% correct. See, that's where the lies come in. It was a TikTok post saying, "Look at this. What do you think?" Gina was talking about what came up to the Holocaust, says Codfisher Killer. You're absolutely correct. She was saying, that bad thing just didn't happen. People had to make it happen. And the Yahtzees couldn't make it happen by themselves. They needed help. So they used hysteria, propaganda, fear, intimidation. And they had a lot of very willing partners, because people got caught up in the fever of that evil, evil shit. I'm not here to justify anything. Did everybody know what was really going on? No, probably not. That doesn't make what was going on. If you take out the camp equation, it was still fucking bad. It was bad. It was all bad. And, people they often use that as like, we don't want to go back to that. We don't go, well, remember, there's been, I'm not minimizing it at all, by the way, other genocides, and we just don't want it to happen again. The problem is right now we have one side saying that the other side is bringing about that world when that's clearly not the case. And they have been saying that over and over again, instead of actually attacking or going at, long gone are the days we actually talked about issues. We don't even talk about issues anymore. When have you seen a debate about frickin' healthcare? Yeah, we're not even talking about issues. Are boring. Some cheddar for your upcoming trip out of California. Cheers. Thank you, CJ, for the $14.99. It's happening soon. I can't wait to go to Vegas. I want to go to Vegas. Oh, by the way, August 11th through 15th, Las Vegas, California. The meetup is back on. That is right around my birthday as well. I will rent out a place where we can meet at night. It's going to be a kind of a base of operations, but it's I don't know if it's going to be a bar or a hall. Chances are it's going to be a bar, and we're going to rent out a room in a bar, and then I'm going to set up a PA system, and we're going to do live streams in front of you all, in front of a studio audience, and we'll bring you guys on and everything, and we'll do shows, and we'll just hang out and eat tacos. And the tacos will be on me, but you got to buy your own booze. And I'm sober, so I don't feel bad about not buying booze. But you can come, hang out. We can stroll around Las Vegas, have a good time, hit the rides. I love all the rides. Oh my God, I'll get on the Stratosphere. If anybody's game for the Stratosphere, I am game. We will do it. But yeah, so August 11th through 15th, make sure you book a hotel that's fully refundable, just in case there's an epidemic that comes back or something. And make sure your flights are as well. I would say book early though. We're going to get you some details as soon as Mrs. Nerdrotic comes home. She comes home on Saturday. I want to have a place locked down by next week. So it gives you plenty of time to plan. And so it's during Star Trek Las Vegas. I am probably going to go to Star Trek Las Vegas, holding my nose because they banned Vic Mignogna, but I want to go just to go. But you don't have to go. And if you want to go to Star Trek Las Vegas, do not buy the expensive tickets. They're not worth it. They're a total ripoff. Just get the 1-day pass. I think it's like $90 or $75. And I'll put details on my website, nerdrotic.com, when that's all done. Fucking scissoring, says Folkenstahl. Thank you for the 5. Is that Czechoslovakian or Chilean pesos? Sorry, Folkenstahl. Black Cecil. In Ethiopia, black food is. Oh, I don't know if I can say that. I can't say that, Black Cecil. If that gets clipped, I get in trouble. Yeah, but thank you for the super chat. Cuba Blue for $4.99. Greetings from the UK. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Mutant Banhammer for $5. Where's the trigger? Where is it? You'd never give it to an ordinary citizen. Well, I might as well do it now.
Where's the trigger? Where is it? You never give it to an ordinary citizen. Where is it? Where's the trigger? Where is it? Where is it?
Where is it? Freaking Christian Bale is a maniac. Absolute maniac. I mean, if I heard that in the editing room, I'd be laughing my ass off till I piss myself. Jamie L. for $5. They confuse fans with stans. Fans, however, are more discerning. We want lore, consistency, and quality in storylines. Fans won't take just anything. You're absolutely correct. That's why Lord of the Rings is going to be a huge problem. Amazon essentially bought lore in a time where lore is problematic and it needs to be updated and changed. And they have nothing to adapt, really. I mean, the Silmarillion is what, this thick? And I don't even know if they're adapting that. If they're adapting the Children of Hurin, that's that thick. There's nothing to adapt. So I can see why Lord of the Rings has had a lot of problems. It was announced on November of 2017. We're going on 3.5 years. No show. Thanks for the China for my birthday on Inquisition. I heard an awful rumor today. Chibnall is going to kill the TARDIS and get rid of the police box. Oh, Beltalowda for £5. I said that months ago. I said that months and months and months ago. I knew they would. We'll see if it actually happens. If they do, good. Then it makes it not Doctor Who at all. Here, let's go. Let me double check that. I don't see anything. There we go. Yeah, it's a rumor from 4 months ago, and I made this video almost a year ago. I made a video saying that I bet they're going to get rid of the police box. We'll see. Now, it was seen while filming, so they still have it, as far as I know. But listen, lots of rumors out there. There's lots of rumors. And what I got to ask you, the audience, listen, anybody can talk about rumors. I am completely okay with it. Do with what you like with your channel. I'll tell you exactly why I don't run with rumors on videos, unless I talk to somebody directly. And that's what I've done with Doctor Who. But outside of that, don't touch it. There are people out there trying to, there's people writing fake rumors on 4chan. And then you also, once your channel gets built as a rumor scooper channel, that's all it can ever be. Like, people go to your channel to get new information and you constantly have to be coming up with new information. I'd rather my channel be about just a conversation, just reacting to what's happened. I don't need to tell you what, I'll tell you what I think and stuff. I guess I'll predict stuff, but I'd rather just talk about what's been given to us. What has been presented. We will tell you what we think of that. We will react to that, and we'll review. That's what I want to get back to, and that's what a lot of my videos have been about this year. I like reviewing shit. I mean, I put out another Star Wars video, and it's been distracting. But George Lucas coming out and saying that was a pretty big deal, so I felt like I was going to do that. I did talk to my members. You will be getting more content. So I will be throwing out more videos. Some of it will be a little lower tier than the normal fare once in a while, but I've decided I'm just going to react to things as they happen. And that will free me up to do reviews, which are the videos that I need to take the most time on. WandaVision is about done. It's going to be out tonight or tomorrow. I've got it 75% done. I'm looking at it right now. I got to put some clips in. And thank you for your interest, by the way. I'm honored that you guys want to hear my take on stuff. That is very fucking cool. Warner would look at Disney and do the opposite. They'll win in the streaming wars. If they do, Warner should look at Disney and do that. Yes, they should. Douglas Nelson. What's up, Douglas Nelson? Check out the Nelson report, by the way. Warner Brothers has the properties to defeat Disney. They do. I mean, Disney buying Fox was a big deal. Should have never fucking happened. But it's a big deal. Warner Brothers could crush Disney if they wanted to because they have rated R content. They're not afraid to put that rated R. They don't have to create some other streaming service. It's already confusing. You know, Disney's got Disney Plus and Hulu. So they bought their way into the game. But at some point, you need to produce. You need to innovate. You can't just keep buying your way into the game. That's not sustainable. It doesn't work. What's the Disney brand now? Well, it's two brands that they bought. And we're slowly losing the Disney brand. It's getting diluted. I mean, I never liked it anyway, so I don't give a fuck. But, you know, Mickey Mouse used to have Mickey Mouse cartoons. But now he's a brand. Gary, notice that Marvel has retconned it to have the three most powerful characters female. Carol, Wanda, Monica. Christopher, a.k.a. the Good Reverend. Yes, we discussed that on EFAP last Saturday. I don't know if Mahler's uploaded it, but I was on EFAP with Mahler and Rags and Az. And a couple of channels, quite admittedly, I've talked to them before, but I went and subscribed to their channels finally, and really, really fucking good. There's one I want to point out. You're probably going to go, yeah, I've already heard of them. But oh, there's Gina. Oh, look at Gina. Hang on. Sorry for the silence here. I want to get this channel name right. Yeah. Cynical Reviews was really good. Really, really good. Cynical Reviews. So through that discussion, we had a great discussion about WandaVision, breaking it down. And for all those people who go, you just say you hate it and it's trash and you don't tell us why. Watch it. We'll tell you exactly why. In my video, I will tell you exactly at what points I stopped liking it, why those points made me stop liking it, and why these points are going to ruin the MCU. No. Spoilers. This is something for my video. Has ruined the MCU. It's already done. It's already done. Kevin Feige has a lot of goodwill, but what's coming up? Tell you what, he's already gave comic fans the bird. The bird. And yes, the three most powerful superheroes in the MCU are now Scarlet Witch, Captain Marvel, and Photon. And they all have ambiguous, undefined, godlike powers, and they can defeat anyone if they like to. And it's already taken all of the... I mean, Thanos is nothing. He's a punk. Boop, 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 boop. Get rid of that. Oops. There we go. That's better. Did you ever think Disney will release the original cuts to Star Wars? I think so. I don't know if it's George Lucas that's prevented them contractually or they just don't want to. But eventually, I think they'll release them on Disney Plus. I don't know if they'll sell them. But they're out there. If you want them, you can find them. But honestly, Shadow Fenrir 24, you know what sucks is I don't care anymore. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to watch Star Wars anymore. I'm not. I've seen Empire fucking hundreds of times. I've seen Star Wars hundreds of times. I've seen Jedi hundreds of times. I mean, like, I used to pop on my VHS like every day. But yeah, so like I'm it's kind of like Stairway to Heaven. I still love the song. I can't listen to it anymore. I can't. I have reached my threshold. But what Disney has done to Star Wars, it's dead to me. I don't care. It's not anything I care about. What Marvel Comics has done to comic books, and again, it's like it's hard to put it in the words, but it's a lifelong passion that I've loved my entire fucking life. And it's meaningless to me now. So when I see Gay Cap, I'm like, what do you want me to get mad? I'm not going to get mad. It's a different character. That's fine. It just dilutes Cap. It's meaningless. It's absolutely meaningless. And it's going to hurt sales more than it's going to help sales. And it doesn't really help anybody in the LGBTQ community because you made the gay character a homeless drug addict. Then I mentioned the drug part. You know, back to the homeless thing. Yeah, they're not all homeless people are evil. None of them are evil. It's a very sad condition. It's a very sad condition. It's mental health. It's drug addiction. Rarely do you have a guy or a gal who doesn't have either major abuse in their background, alcohol, drugs, or mental health problems, homeless. You just have like there are situations like that, but they are rare, exceedingly rare. And it's a problem we got to take care of. But I don't think a LGBTQ Captain America with a trash can lid and some sleeves covering up his heroin addiction is going to help. I don't think it's going to help. Are proceeds from this comics going to charity, or are they going into Marvel's pockets? Hail, Gary. Congrats on the BBC going weekly. That's right. You guys put out better and more interesting content than the major networks, particularly in the UK. Thank you, Randomize, for $4.99. Yes, the real BBC is going to go weekly in April, and we're going to flip-flop between channels. It's going to be Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Over the next couple of weeks, though, I am dialing back. I'm only going to be doing streams here. So I'll announce that soon. I got to talk to some people first. I am still hoping for a 3-hour Excalibur cut. Oh, Huron the Steadfast for 5 Canadian pesos. It exists. Well, they have 3 hours of footage. I would love for that to happen. I want the soundtrack on Vital. That's what I want. Beastly Nerd for $10. Here, take some Stimmy. Take some Stimmy. That's right. Take some Stimmy, showing support and hope to share the comic I'm working on with you and the rest of the fandom. We just want things to be fun again. That's the reason for writing it. Beastly Nerd, thank you. Thank you for bringing the fun back to entertainment. That's all we've ever wanted. Az's song is an earworm, but I hate it. But I also love it. It's killing it on iTunes. Says best time is now for $4.99. It is. If somebody could tweet me, show me on Twitter where it's at on the charts. I think Az is live right now. Or I'd ask him. Hang on just a mo. No, I don't. What are straight black men that white people of black people? Are straight black men the white people of black people? There's times I just don't want to play anymore. I just want to get off and say, you're on your own. You're on your own. This comes from LGBTQ Nation. No, black men are individual human beings with names and lives and accomplishments and failures. And that's what they are. Compound Media, what's up? I love fucking Anthony Cumia. Hang on, I'm looking for I'm not seeing where it's charting. It's charting though, just take my word for it. It's charting and it's doing well. Do you think there will be a sway back to logic in the political spectrum anytime soon? Every time I think the lunacy hits a high, it gets even crazier. Uncle Denzil for $15, it's going to get a little crazier first. But it's already happening. What we're waiting for, and listen, I would love this to happen. Everybody's waiting for this moment. This moment where that just one singular moment that is so fucking stupid that it finally wakes everybody up. It's not going to happen. We have to do it one person at a time. It's very slow. This happens slow. This snuck up on a lot of people. Now, listen, I know there's a lot of people out there. You're like, no. I was calling this shit out in 2007. You were. But they thought you were a conspiracy theorist. They thought you were crazy. Why do you think they got rid of Gavin McInnes so fast? Now, Gavin McInnes is a provocateur. He's an ex-punk rocker. He used to work for Vice. He's had some accidental bad associations and things haven't gone perfect for him. But that guy got through to people in the beginning because he was funny. Remember, he was on TV and shit. And I got no problem with Gavin. I do. I don't. None. Because I know all the shit that would happen. I know the nuance of all the arguments. Why do you think? Because he puts stuff so succinctly in common sense. In a perfect little box of common sense. So, but what Carrie Smith from Unsafe Space said was right, is we keep throwing logic at them when they only respond to emotions. So we have to get to them on emotional level. And what you need to start showing is all of this mislabeling of people is really fucking hurting some people. Now, there's a lot of us who just don't give a fuck, but these labels are sticking. So we have to keep fighting it, and it's going to be a long fight. And people come and go. People get sick of it. People get tired of it. My favorite part, let's go to the main screen for this. My favorite part from last year, where there was a contingent of YouTubers who were saying that, the Fall of Skywalker came out and it failed. Okay, the Fandom Menace is over. The Fandom Menace is dead. Those channels are going to die. People are going to get tired. I'm sorry. Did Hollywood move back to the middle? I must have missed the memo on that one. Did Hollywood stop attacking fans? Did Hollywood stop trying to divide this country? Did Hollywood start making good entertainment? Did Disney start treating their fans with respect? Or did they tease them with a Luke Skywalker moment and then spent the last 2 months alienating all the fans they got back? I just want to enjoy entertainment. That's what everybody says. The problem is they make it hard to. It's hard to enjoy WandaVision, right? When you're constantly where you're presented with these illogical situations because you want to present a male in a toxic way. Because your whole goal was just to have him be a toxic male instead of a fully fleshed out character. See, WandaVision, you had me at the beginning, but that's because I'm a sucker. I'm a total sucker. I should have seen through it. It was a mystery box. And, I started my review. This is why I went back and redid it, because I started my review by saying, I liked the first 3 episodes. No. I was enjoying the first 3 episodes when I thought it was going somewhere. Now that I know it didn't go somewhere, the first 3 episodes are meaningless trash. They're meaningless. They look like sitcoms, but they were just there to look like sitcoms and nothing else. So they're nothing to me. It's nothing I'm going to go back and rewatch. And I bet most people aren't rewatching this, and they know damn well they're not rewatching this. And they might be a little scared that the Gina Carano firing affected WandaVision. But I'll tell you, Disney, it was the product. I'm sure the Gina Carano firing affected a percentage, a very small percentage of people canceling their Disney Plus. I have still canceled mine. No, it was your product. People were turned off by your product. And while the sycophants spent the last 3 days after it aired saying how great it was, then more people started watching it, and they're like, that ending was not only bad, it undid whatever goodwill you had, and it kind of undoes the MCU. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. New Super Mario Maker 2 stream here. Would love if you check me out. Loved you, nerd. Happy St. Patty's Day. And that is from Crimson Land 1 for $10. Thank you. Chris Persia, what's up? The Canadian Wrench. Captain America can't even keep track of his own shield and needs to go across America searching for it with other Captain Americas. Marvel hired the incompetent. And yeah, and it's a very similar storyline apparently to Mark Waid's, who sucks. Now, Mark Waid did one of the better Captain America runs ever. Yes, you heard me say that. Back in the late 90s, early aughts, right up to 9/11. He and Ron Garney did a fantastic Superman run when Waid just wrote comic book superheroes. There are 4 lights. Can't wait to hear you talk Babylon 5. Oh, yeah, well, tune into the BBC. Kai MFS for $3, you fantasy author, or sci-fi, sorry. Did you hear that Tom Budge from The Lord of the Rings, by the way, on Amazon, it's called The Lord of the Rings, quit the series a couple of days ago, Gary? Shake my head. Also, hail the Snyder Cut. Back when entertainment was gold for $5. Yes, I did hear that. I discussed it on the Inquisition a little bit. Yeah, they are reassessing the pilot. They are, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. This 2-part pilot might not air, and they might have to go back to the drawing board, which is crazy. Forbes, because even a broken clock is correct twice a day, says Matt Stam. You are correct, sir. You are correct. Did you see the title of the Times article? It says Snyder Cut of Justice League is better than the 2017 cut, but it sets a dangerous precedent, said Mikey Gussler. Yes, I talked about the entire article, Mikey. Are you going to be on the charity stream tonight with Zack Snyder? If so, can you shout me out to Zach? If not, that's cool. Have fun tonight, Gary. Thanks. Mikey, I would. If I was talking to Zack Snyder, I would say, Zach, there is this guy. He has super chatted me for like 6 months straight, just wanting to talk about Snyder Cut. I honestly would shout you out, but I'm not going to be talking to him. Sorry, buddy. I'm not going to be talking to him. Chris Topher, I am almost certain Kathleen Kennedy owns a Dalmatian fur coat. She does. She does. Thank you for the $2. Julian Stanley, people who must see others who share exact qualities with the same sex, race, orientation, etc., in order to relate to them, have no empathy. It's superficial, hollow, and sad way to live. I pity them. Oh, that works for that too, but I meant to say this. Comic book steals and deals for $3. Gary, thoughts on hippies asking for a friend? good music. The movement in the 60s was genuine. Don't have a problem with that particular movement. But as a whole, I'm not a fan. I've had a lot of hippie friends. My parents were hip. My mom was a hippie. My mom was a legit fucking hippie. She was 16 when she had me, and then she went to Greece and traveled, and the bell bottoms and the fucking drugs and all that shit. That was my mom. So, but no, I am a punk rocker. I am a Gen Xer. I am an ex-punk rocker. I am a reaction to the hippie movement. So generally, as a whole, no. But their music was really fucking good. Really good. Thanks for you and other content creators being the voice for us. Here is a small token to help you get out of Cali. Thanks, Jerry Mack. I appreciate it. If we have any hippies in the audience, again, it's nothing personal. I don't like Birkenstocks. I don't like the smell of patchouli oil. I'm not a fan of the Grateful Dead. I know Bear is going to have his heart broken by that, but I'm not. I've been to a lot of Dead shows, never walked in the show. I did the drugs in the parking lot and left. No. But I like some shit. No, I definitely like some of it, though. Mikey Gusler, hail Gary, I've taken tomorrow and Friday off of work so I can bask in the glory of Justice League. I've been asking for this film since mid 2018. I'm so hyped. Restore the Snyderverse. Restore the Snyderverse. Absolutely. Sorry. Get my little candle here to get rid of him. Little bugger. Mikey, I am so happy for you, dude. I am so happy for you. Oh, yes. Tyler W., thank you for the $5. And hail, Gary. Just a donation to show appreciation. Seriously. R.I.P. Sabine Schmitz. The queen of the Nordschleife. I can't pronounce that. Sabine Schmitz was on Top Gear. She was that German race car driver. She was kind of hot. I loved her accent. She drove a car like fucking no other. And it reminds me of the best days of Top Gear. She was 51. She's my age. She passed away from cancer. May she rest in peace. A true trailblazer. A true groundbreaker. My empty cup of coffee to you, Sabine. You will be missed. MCU formula. Hire good-looking and charming actors, add punching and CGI. Huron Stredfast for 5 Canadian pesos. Well, that's not what the formula used to be. The formula used to be make character and costume look as much, stay on brand. Stay on brand. They are now off brand. And you're right. It's punching, quip, and CGI now. And don't let anything emotionally resonate. The biggest sin of Ragnarok was the death of fucking Odin. Fucking hated that because Anthony Hopkins was great as Odin in the first movie. He sold it. When he banishes Thor, you felt that. Zach's fans are mostly peaceful. Fade in the building burning in the background. The media sucks, says Nick Nero. Yes, they do. They do. The Hawk song, welcome to the proto-molecule level. I appreciate it. Sexy Beast for $5. First super chat. Don't be gentle. Okay. You asked me not to be gentle.
I'll eat your ass. I will. I will eat your ass.
I am just happy to support you and this awesome community. Well, I thank you, Sexy Beast. I appreciate it. I want a 2000 AD movie with Urban as Dredd and Carano as Hershey. Take my money. That would be fucking awesome. That would be awesome. We could crowdfund that. They wanted to do a series, but the Dredd movie, dude, is so fucking good. From a fellow Gen Xer, you are quietly awesome. I am quietly awesome, Gary. Thanks. But you already knew that. Hail, Gen Xers. Thank you, Mephisto Zarsis. Am I saying that right? Zarsis? Xarxis for 5 pounds. Butt Crack Studios. Oh, I already read that one. Okay. So I got to dip out now because I need a little break in between. I'm going to jump on the other stream in about 2.5 hours, and I need to record videos. So I will make up the rest on a Super Chat Square Up, which, I mean, like, honestly, we have, oh, shit. I'll just say it. Yeah, so we're going to have somebody helping out with Friday Night Tights. She's going to be more of an assistant. And as time goes on, she's going to help out more and more. Jeremy was kind enough to point me her way. You might have heard of her. She is Mark the Cyborg's fiance, X-Ray Girl. X-Ray Girl will be assisting with Friday Night Tights, assisting me with your super chats to make sure. And what I'm doing right now in the Square Ups is I'm just rereading all of the super chats from a particular show so I don't miss any, and all the donations. So I just reread it. So if you want to hear your super chat be reread, I do it. And I try to make them fun because I love them. I love it. It's a Q&A, and I have some fake video game playing in the background. I throw in Perry Chan clips, and I also do Toxic Mailbag. And I'll give you a teaser of one. So I had 2 P.O. boxes, one in San Francisco and one down here. And there was a bunch of leftover stuff in my one in San Francisco that I didn't know about. And like somebody sent me. This is signed by Roger Waters. I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan. So that's a little tease of Toxic Mailbag. Oh, and just to compete with Az's Hot Toys. Get ready for some toxicity. Oh, I dropped the skull. But hang on. There we go. 1/6 scale. And her flesh is like rubbery. There you go. Vampirella in all her glory. Room tour. You're going to get a room tour. I don't know if I'm going to put it on daily or live, but you're going to get a room tour this weekend, by the way. Full room tour. You're going to get to see all this stuff. So yeah, let me go check and see if there's, I'll check donations real quick, and then I got to get out of here. So let's do that. And then we'll do this, and then we'll do that, and we'll refresh this. And these are Streamlab donations. YouTube gets nothing from this. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, we got a couple here. Jester of Roanoke for $1. Now let's hear Paul Allen's Trigger. Oh, I don't have that one. Batman, where's the trigger?
Where's the trigger?
Thank you, Ike Ellis, for $5. Ike Ellis says, "Who am I kidding?" In regards to my previous donation, who am I kidding? I'll buy all of the new Gods Hot Toys if they made them. Every freaking one. I wouldn't be able to help myself. I wouldn't either. I wouldn't even like. It's the basic superheroes I don't care about. Like, I don't want a Spider-Man Hot Toys. I used to be the biggest Spider-Man collector. I had a Spider-Man museum, and we'll talk about that someday. But no, it's like Vision. I want Vision. I want Doctor Strange, the shit that they didn't come out with a lot of stuff for. I want to make a Hot Toys like a real Defenders team. I want Namor. I want them, like, they need, where in the fuck is Namor? I need Namor. For someone else liking my favorite Blue Oyster Cult song, also, YouTube prevented me from super chatting, so no apparent reason. Berserk Shirt Bear for $2. Awesome. And I love that song. Yes. Veteran of the Psychic Wars. Brie Larson, I don't need a 40-year-old dude to tell me what I didn't work for him in about a wrinkle of time. It wasn't made for him. Cut to clip of a 38-year-old Chris Pine playing the biracial lead's dad. The lack of self-awareness astonishes me, says Gray Ghost for $5. It is astonishing. It is astonishing. And Ryan and Jeremy's love child for $5. Or Ryan and Jeremy's love child for $5. Hail. Well, that would be weird because Ryan is the love child of, let's not get that weird. Okay. Gotta go. So thanks everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show. And once again, we are going to play a little video for you from Ryan. And then I'll come back in a second. So don't go anywhere. Or you could if you want. It doesn't really matter.
Nerdrotic.com.
What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost.
I'm Lethal Lightning.
And I'm Uche Waneri.
And we have a massive event coming to you guys just hours before the Snyder Cut releases on HBO Max. We will be on Uche's channel with Zack Snyder himself celebrating the fandom and the Release the Snyder Cut movement.
And all the money generated on this stream will go directly to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, a really good cause that unfortunately plagues a lot of people, including Zack Snyder himself.
Now, with this charity stream, we'll also be auctioning off a number of exclusive items provided by Zack Snyder and ourselves that you can only find by being a part of the auction in the stream.
So join us on Uche's channel starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. It is going to be awesome. Talking Snyder Cut, raising a bunch of money for a great cause, and talking to Zack Snyder himself. We'll see you there.
He's never fought us.
That was some epic shit. Well, we're going to end it there. We're going to end it there. And I will add on what I said on the video. Sorry, folks. Ciao, ciao. Bye, Boomer.
What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost.
I'm Lethal Lightning.
And I'm Uche Waneri.
And we have a massive event coming to you guys just hours before the Snyder Cut releases on HBO Max. We will be on Uche's channel with Zack Snyder himself celebrating the fandom and the Release the Snyder Cut movement.
And all the money generated on this stream will go directly to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, a really good cause that unfortunately plagues a lot of people, including Zack Snyder himself.
Now, with this charity stream, we'll also be auctioning off a number of exclusive items provided by Zack Snyder and ourselves that you can only find by being a part of the auction in the stream.
So join us on Uche's channel starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. It is going to be awesome. Talking Snyder Cut, raising a bunch of money for a great cause, and talking to Zack Snyder himself. We'll see you there.
He's never fought us. Got us united.
Nerdrotic.com.
Hey, I just want to say, rest in peace, Mark C. And good luck to Will